Well, welcome everybody. Glad you could make it to the show today. I am Edward Pereira. My co-host is Attilla Hevesi. Co-hosts Attilla Hevesi, my good friend and partner, Mr. Barsano, the genius Einstein of today, and the best for last, Crypto Casey. So, welcome everybody. Thank you so much. It is so fun. Well, it's actually funner when Crypto Casey is here, and she's been the past couple of weeks. And just an announcement, and we'll talk about it along the way. Might be a secret, maybe not. Crypto Casey's birthday is next Wednesday, the 25th.
Wednesday.
So we are pre happy birthday, but we are going to be spinning up this week. We're going to be doing some raffles and some audience participation and some giveaways and some announcements. Just before we came on, I mentioned to you that I was coordinating with our pal, Crypto Casey, and I believe we have her blessing to make a huge announcement. So with that, let me set some expectations. I'm going to share my screen. Somebody yell when it comes up.
Okay, it's coming up and should be up in a moment. Yep, there it is. It's on screen. You just need to make it.
Yep. Here we go. There's a whole lot of word salad, but let me make it shorter for you. Your expectations today, particularly if you've seen this for the first time and you're somewhat familiar, or really not even familiar in the crypto space. But automation, if you're not using automation, by the way, if you listen to Casey's videos, you can't outthink. If you're going to be in this market, you can't outthink the big guys, because they are already using automation. Cool part is you're going to see something that puts you in the position of the whale that uses automation, that gives you cash flow for a lifetime. Literally, you're going to see a lifetime participation system that just spits out money. And Ed will be very enthusiastic about sharing that. But even more than that, if you've been in this space, you know how risky it has been until now. Security is the number one thing that you need to focus on. You may have participated in something that says, oh, it's going to make you cash flow, but you have to send your money to a third-party wallet. Pay attention, because you are in 100% control of what you're going to see today. You're going to see how rule-based automation removes emotion from investing. You're going to see why a 4-year down market, it's incredible. This platform has been out in the worst market possible for the last 4 years, 90 to 95% down, and it's still produced extraordinarily high automated free money in your sleep. It's the only platform that gives you total control. It's not a bot. It employs AI, but anything is compared to what you see in the marketplace today, not even close. It runs 24/7. You're going to see live demonstrations. You're going to see why for 25 years it has used discipline and automation and trading with AI enhanced agents. But as Mr. Barsano, not to steal all of his thunder, but the AI agents are not the star of the dish. The money management part is. Removing emotion, putting in money management makes you a winner. You're going to see live trading activity. You're going to get comments from one of the most powerful people in the industry, Crypto Casey. We all love her. She's here live. And with that, we'll take you to, I have one more screen. Uh-oh, I'm locked up. Bear with me.
Yep.
It's
technology.
Just a disclaimer. Yep. We can skip it.
Yep. No. Well, I just got to for the legal beagles. I'm not going to read anything other than this is for solely for educational and informational purposes only. We're not giving you any advice. We're giving you our opinion, and everybody has one. But we're giving you our opinion from a factual perspective. Everything that you're going to see here is based on fact. So with that, I'm not going to read these questions. You can read them yourself, but it's all the questions. If you've never seen something like this that are in your head, this tells you what we're going to show you. We're going to show you what we're going to show you, and then we're going to tell you what we showed you and give you an opportunity to participate. With that, let me turn it over to my good friend, Attilla, and he's going to give you a little bit of background, and then we'll introduce our special guests.
Thank you, Edward. Great introduction, and welcome everybody. Welcome Ed Barsano. As always, we thank you for being here. Crypto Casey, thanks for the special repeat appearance, and we look forward to next week. That'll be fun. But let's talk about today. So my job is to enlighten you as to how I met Mr. Barsano and how things transpired that ended up that we're all here on this Zoom. It's a pretty interesting story. So Mr. Barsano, first of all, his background's interesting. Spent 8 years in the Navy. Then he got out, spent a couple of years in nuclear engineering for the government, and then he was hired by Bill Gates at Microsoft, one of the first approximate 350 people ever hired there as a programmer. And he did very, very well. He actually, I didn't even know this till a couple of months ago, till he said it on one of these Zooms, that he was not hired there to improve things that were already out. He was hired to create things. And he did a pretty darn good job, and I could see why, because of what he created here with what we're talking about today. But anyway, he retired a young man in 1995-ish, less than 40 years of age. And I keep saying unfortunately, it's actually very fortunate for all of us that he lost about 60% of his net worth in the stock market crash of 2000. Now, why do I say fortunately? That is because he got ticked off and he knew that the stock market was rigged, and he made a decision. He said, I'm going to level the playing field where the average person, not the big boys on Wall Street, not the uber wealthy, the average person has a fair shot of making money 100% unattended in their sleep, where they don't have to worry about anything. It'll be done for them automatically. And he created the world's first fully robotic autonomous stock market trader. Launched it in 2001. And then he did very well with it. He was approached by a marketing company kind of in 2012-ish. And that's when I met him. I was introduced by a friend, mutual friend. And my friend asked me, Attilla, how would you like to make money in the stock market without doing a darn thing? Now, I always did want to make money in the stock market. I don't have the personality or the patience to sit down and learn day trading. That's not me. So I said, how the heck is that even possible? And he explained, you got to meet this guy. So I met Ed, 20 minutes in, I said, time out. I get it. I want to buy this license. So I bought the license for the stock trader, worked unbelievably well. And fast forward to, and then Ed was with that marketing company for a couple of years, went back to being solo. And in 2018-ish, sold out to a hedge fund that had previously purchased many licenses from him, actually. So now this is kind of where the story takes a twist, an interesting one. And that is the fact that in March, actually, it's next week on the 25th will be exactly to the day 4 years that I was sitting at my desk. And I said to myself, I was just frustrated that day. And I said, man, I got a great crypto portfolio, but my parents always said, cash is king. Now, I know that's been replaced with cash flow is king. It's more important to cash flow than anything. If you're cash flowing at the end of the month, life is good. If you're not cash flowing enough, life's a little tough or very tough. So I'm like, how the heck do I keep growing my money and my crypto? How do I multiply it on itself, but in a safe and secure fashion? And it took me a full day, but Ed Barsano's name popped in my head like a day later. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot about Ed. I'll bet my life on the fact that somewhere along the line, he created a trader, robotic autonomous trader for the crypto market. So I called him. I still had his number in my phone. We spoke for 3 hours and he confirmed my hunch. He said, yeah, I launched it in April of 21. And he said, Attilla, as soon as I turn this thing on, I said, I'm done with the stock market. He said, I've never seen volatility like this. And he said, basically, it's light years ahead of the stock trader. And I said, how come? And he said, number one, the stock market trades 5 days a week, 6 hours a day. Crypto's 24/7, 365. That's a big advantage. And I agreed right away. He also told me something I already knew and agreed with, and that is the fact that in order for anybody to make big money and lots of profits in any kind of trading, you have to have optimum volatility. And he said there's no asset class on planet Earth with more volatility than crypto. But number three and number four was what really got me. Number three was the fact that he said it's not downloadable software anymore because back in the day it was very cumbersome to download that thing. It took 90 minutes or so. He said, I made it web-based, and I really didn't know what that meant. I said, what does that mean, Ed? He said, well, if you buy the license again, I can have you connected live to your exchange in about 10 minutes or less. I said, all right, you got it. Let's go. I bought the trader on the spot. And in about 8.5 minutes, I was connected to my exchange through an API connection. I thought that was brilliant because I remember the old days in 2012 when we met, well, what it was like, and it was nothing like that. Number four, I thought was the most important thing, and it should be the most important thing to all of you out there in the crypto hood. And that is this. That is the fact that Ed Barsano created an API connection so the trader links to your own Coinbase or Kraken account. Consequently, your money is 1000% safe and secure. Now, this is still a relatively new nascent space. It won't be for long, but in any new nascent space and asset class, there's always tons and tons of scams and ripoffs and rug pulls. So this ensures your money's always safe. And that was a big deal because in 5 previous blockchain crypto cash flow projects, I had lost a significant amount of money. But the reason I lost those monies is I didn't control my crypto. I sent it to a third-party exchange or wallet. When things went south, I was screwed. So I thought number four was an amazing thing to hear. And I said, Ed, we got to get this out to the world. And then we basically created an agreement where we're helping him with, I mean, self-admittedly, Ed Barsano is a programming genius, but he doesn't know that much, frankly, about the sales and marketing side. So we do.
Or graphics. I know nothing about graphics.
Yeah, that's why when
That's
people
funny.
when people say the screen, the My Trader screen looks like it's from the 1990s, it's because it is. But that's okay. Hey, you know what? Here's my philosophy. Would everybody out there rather have something that is uber fancy and once a month it might make you a profit, or would you have something that looks like it's from the 90s and works like a charm and has a 26-year track record of nothing but profits and never sells at a loss? I think that's obviously a rhetorical question, but
Well,
I'll take the latter.
let me think about
Let me think about that one. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
pretty
listen,
screens are really important.
that.
before
Pretty good.
before we turn it back over to Ed Barsano and let him say his piece, I just want to make sure everybody takes 2 things and thoughts very seriously and under consideration. Number one, we're going to say repeatedly, set it and forget it, make money in your sleep. When we say that, we truly mean it. Please take it literally. Once you're up and running live, there's no necessity of you interacting with the trader anymore. Now, obviously, you could go and look at it once a day, 5 times a day, 20 times a day. That's your choice. It's your license. But as far as you needing to do anything, no, not needed. There's no screen time needed. Number 2, please understand very clearly what this gentleman has created. He has created something that's never been done, and that is a way for people to, frankly, without anybody being a accredited investor, without you knowing anything about crypto, without you knowing anything about trading, you could literally automate a portion of your financial life now and make money in your sleep. It's not been done, folks. It's pretty remarkable when you think about it. So before I introduce Ed Barsano, Casey, did you want to pipe in with any thoughts for today that are at the forefront of your brain by any chance, or you want to just wait till later?
I don't have anything in particular right now. I mean, it's been a very
No,
interesting
that's
couple of
cool.
weeks.
I think
Yeah.
Ed's got a surprise for you, Casey.
Oh, okay.
I think he's got
Specifically for you.
Oh no, I
think
forgot my wallet.
I think it's his birthday present, one of his birthday presents to you.
1 week
But
early.
yeah,
Yeah.
we talk, we ask, he doesn't listen to us. You peep a sentence and poof, it happens.
All right. So anyway, Ed Barsano, as always, take it away. The floor is yours, my man.
Really? You're not going to go to Edward again and again and again?
No.
Okay.
He said his piece.
I've been relegated to 4th place.
First off, I'm not a genius. I just drink smart water. I always take notes when Edward and Attilla are talking. Um, the one thing about the robotic trader, you did nail it this time, Attila. You said, good for all of us that the market crashed. I mean, that was a blessing in 2000. If you really think about it, everything I say, I hope makes sense. Everybody wants to buy at the bottom. Everybody wants to buy the lowest price. If I could buy Microsoft at 30 cents a share, I'd be all over that. Okay. So what happened in 2000 when the market or the stock market crashed? They brought all the prices of everything way down for us normal people that could afford it, right? I mean, now the prices are sky high in the stock market. Who wants to buy Microsoft at 400 or $500 a share? I don't. It's way too high. But if I could bring it down to 30 cents, I'd be all over it. Or wouldn't you love to buy Nvidia at a few bucks a share or Tesla? I mean,
Yep.
there's a whole bunch of companies I would love to buy, if they would come down. If I had the ability to bring them down, that would be fantastic. But I don't. But BlackRock does in the crypto market. Look what they did. So over the last 4 years, 5 years actually now, we've been on a straight downtrend. Isn't that wonderful? What a beautiful thing. And so many people see it as a bad thing. And I'm like, man, if you couldn't bring those prices down if your life depended on it, but they brought them actually all the way down for us. Normally, we don't know it's going to happen. Like the 2000 market crash caught me completely off guard. I didn't, I was in all the tech stocks and they, and then they just the bottom we had a rug pull, what they call it. They just dropped the market. And I was in margin, I was getting margin calls and everything, and 60% of my wealth vaporized. That's when I said, you picked on the wrong guy, baby. I'm retired and I will dedicate my life to this market and conquer it. And I've had a lot of confirmation and a lot of constant confirmation. And constant confirmation is an important thing because especially when you're doing something everybody else says can't be done. It's always good to be hearing constantly that Eddie, you're doing it's working, you're doing it right. Like when TD Ameritrade called in 2006 and said, "Will you connect the auto traders to us so our clients can use it?" I mean, that was amazing. And I said, "How do you even know me? I don't advertise or anything." And his response, again, constant confirmation, he said, "You're real." Isn't that just like the ultimate response? You're real. I really want that on my headstone when I die. And in my response, I still remembered. I said, "You're right. I am real. I'm not playing. We're conquering this market, and I'm not going to let them rip us off forever." And it's amazing if you think about it. A company like TD Ameritrade with millions of clients that they would actually call me and be willing to take that risk. What if my auto traders lost money and millions of their users lost money? I mean, or got hammered and lost everything. I mean, they had faith in my traders that their clients were actually going to win, and that's cool. I mean again, that's constant confirmation telling me you're on the right track, Ed. Keep it up, and I never stopped for 25 years. Um, but like what Attila said about the volatility of the crypto market, I just wanted to touch base on the stuff you said. Um, that I said to you, that when I saw cryptos for the first time in 2021, it blew me away, man. After 21 years of just doing the stocks, I took one look at that crypto market after I automated. I said, "Holy Toledo." Because, no matter how much you could see about the crypto market, you don't know what it really is going to be like until you run a fully automated trader that knows how to take advantage of the volatility. I mean, the volatility's always been there, but you guys probably didn't even notice it before you got an auto trader because you just didn't know how to take advantage of it. And so once I turned it on and I saw what the auto traders were doing, I'm like, holy Toledo, man. I mean, I'm really done with stocks. Um, Because cryptos, here's how stocks move. The prices go like this. The prices go up and down. They kind of graze around like a wave. What I noticed right away with the crypto market in 2021 was the prices jumped around. And I'm like, that's gold to an auto trader because if it jumps up like that, anything I bought below this price just sold off profitably. So you're just always just taking like limit three a couple months ago or maybe a month ago. You guys probably remember when it happened. Some of you owned it. A lot of us own limit three, L3. It went up 150% in one day, which is that's stocks don't do that. That's just crazy. And then last year I remember Limit 3 did it again. It went up 50% and then 5 minutes later it came right back down. So it looked like just a spike up and then a spike down. But the auto traders, when it spiked up, the auto traders sold off all the inventory that we bought below it at a nice, beautiful profit. And then it went right back down and we were able to buy again. And I'm like, this is free money. And that's how do you tell the public it's free money? They think you're a lunatic. You go to the internet and try to say it, they say, get out of here, scammer. Kind of like going to a dog lover's website and tell everybody you hate dogs. I mean, they don't want to talk crypto on the internet, on the boards. You notice that? You can't talk about crypto. But if I said, do you think Bitcoin's going to go to 50,000? No, it's already at 50,000. How about 500,000 by Sunday? He'll get somebody that says that will get 50 responses. Everybody's happy with that. But if you try to talk about how to rake money out of the market like it's free money, they don't want to hear that just because they can't fathom it. So those were all the notes I had here. So now we can get into the real stuff, I guess. Where do we
Let it
go?
rip.
Where do we go?
You
I have
you
no
could
notes. I've finished my notes.
you could show people the simple concept of
All right.
prices just going up and down.
Well, the simple concept, if you understand how a bucket and a well works, and you accept the fact that if it goes down, let me share my screen, please.
It's all yours.
All right. I gotta get these pictures out of the way. I love looking at you guys, but you gotta move out of my way. Um, all right. If you understand how a bucket and a well works, the bucket has to start at the top and go all the way down and get the water and go all the way back up and dump it out. We all know how that works. It can't go halfway down and then go back up. It would be an empty bucket when it got there. Okay? So I actually presented this I was teaching an AI class to 80 really smart people. And I drew this picture of this bucket and a well on a whiteboard. It just happened to be there. And, there was a whiteboard and I was there. So we had to go to it. I never noticed that I always was attracted to the whiteboards, but then when I think back, I'm like, I've always done that. So anyways, so I draw this rudimentary picture of a bucket and a well, and I said to the audience, the 80 people, I said, if the bucket goes all the way down and gets the water and goes all the way back up and dumps it out, and it repeats that for your whole life, how much water will it pump in a lifetime? And then we got the basics out of the way, like how big is the bucket, and then is the water basin full of water, never going to run out. Engineers always ask those kind of questions. I said, it doesn't matter. It's sufficiently big and there's more than enough water. How much water will it pump? And then they started throwing out answers, 1,000,000 gallons, billion gallons, trillion gallons, crazy numbers. And I'm looking around the room with each answer, and nobody's objecting to any of these answers. I'm like, okay, good. So you do acknowledge that if you keep pumping water forever, you're going to just pump billions of gallons. Okay, so I said, well, let's look at if it was the crypto market. What if the bucket doesn't have to go all the way down? It goes down a little and goes up a little and pumps money. So it goes down, buys a little, sells it, pumps money. Just like a 7-Eleven. You put product on the shelf and you sell it at a higher price. And it just keeps doing that forever. Don't worry about the ones up here that are higher. You're going to hold those because what happens if the coin jumps up 50% one day? You're going to sell it all off, or 20% or 10%. But it's just, what if it just keeps pumping money on, like 3% moves, 3% down, 3% up, pump money? What if it keeps doing that for the rest of your life? And it doesn't matter where the price goes, you're just going to keep pumping money. How much money can that pump in a lifetime? So I threw that out to the audience. And then all of a sudden, the whole room went silent, which was interesting. And then finally, one guy spoke up. And his answer again was vintage. He goes, there's no way that could be real. I love it. Isn't that great? There's no way that could be real. I said, why not? There's no reason it can't be real because it is real. It's just logically it's real. You can see it. And and that's the challenge that I've always said this for the last 25 years. The software's never been my challenge. The public has been the challenge because they don't want to see reality. They just want it. They're in denial and they've been taught, and I don't know what it is. I'm not a therapist, but I've been analyzing this for 25 years, trying to understand how the public doesn't see the obvious. That it's just free money. Why is everybody gambling? And I look around and I can see, they're teaching the stuff in the classes, they're teaching all the wrong stuff. And I've gone to some classes like Teach Me to Trade, .com or something. Somebody came up to me years ago with a couple like ballpark tickets. And he said, hey, Ed, I got these couple tickets, you want to come with me to this Teach Me to Trade course? And I said, well, I'm not doing anything. Let's go. So I went in there and immediately the guy up there teaching the class, I could tell just by the way he's talking, he's never traded the market, but yet he's teaching a class. So he's spewing out stuff. He doesn't even know what he's saying. The stuff he's saying, I'm listening to him, I'm like, boy, I'd lose all my money if I did what he just said, But it's amazing. That's what the public hears. And I don't know what it is. You guys can all have to analyze yourselves. Is it because you look up, maybe one of the things I thought is, do you think other people are smarter than you? So you're thinking that somebody over there knows the answer. And the answer is they don't. They would be just like us. We're all rich. Everybody on this panel is rich. Isn't it something? Why? Because we figured it out and we know what we're doing. Whereas, millions of other people are out there just gambling in the market. We have figured out how to conquer the market, how to turn the market into just free money. Who else knows how to take free money out of the market?
Wall Street.
Yeah.
Right. BlackRock, Vanguard, they own Vanguard actually. So they're double dipping. They got how many other they own I don't like to talk about so much about BlackRock, but there's just so obvious the stuff that they're doing. They've they own every company out there, every stock company, every crypto company. When I say every, obviously they can't own every single one. Maybe they don't. I think there's 10,000 garbage coins out there that they probably wouldn't own. But for the most part, all the top coins they own, and they don't own enough to be a monopoly. But they own enough to fly right under the radar of the laws and own enough of every coin so that they're on the voting board of every coin. So, in every company. So they're out there voting. We're not voting. When these companies have meetings, corporate meetings, or what do they call the shareholder meetings?
Mm-hmm.
Where they vote, they're in there. They're pushing, their weight around and maybe they vote for us. I guess I don't know how all that works. But they're able to push the market where they want to push it, and they learn something. Pardon me.
No, I
Oh,
just
just
coughed. I
oh,
coughed.
okay.
Sorry.
I thought that sounded profound. That was a very profound cough. Um,
I
So
didn't
I
know
think
that.
they learned a long time ago how to manipulate the market, how to manipulate the public. If I want to buy $30 million worth of a coin, I can't just throw an order out there and say buy $30 million of this coin. Because you know what's going to happen? There's not $30 million worth of buyers out there at the current price. So what that would do is it would drive the price down into the ground. Okay? So what they need to do is they need to get you to get $30 million worth of people willing to sell at the current price. How do you do that? Or at a price close to the current price. They they since they're in control of so many companies, they can just put the word out that I want to buy this coin 7% lower. And that's what happened 2 weeks ago. We saw what happened when all the coins dropped 7%. And it was just so they've gotten so arrogant because the public literally is not even looking at the obvious. I had a vertical list of all the coins that are in Coinbase and Kraken from top to bottom on one screen. And I was looking at how much these coins were down on that day. Each coin, which is phenomenal, down 7%, down 7%, down 7%, down 7%, down 7%, down 8%, down 8%, down 8%, down 7%, down 7%, from the top to the bottom. I'm like, if that's not institutional behavior, I don't know what is. Because any one of us could not have pushed every coin in the market down exactly 7% or 8%. I mean, it was just too perfect. But now what can you extrapolate out of that 7%? Because I thought about why 7%? What's magical about 7%? Well, let's see, what is everybody taught? If you're taught in classes that if your coin goes down 3%, put a stop loss in to sell out, to close. Or a lot of people put a 5% stop loss because 3% are hitting too often. So they put 5%. So they put a 7% stop loss in so that millions of people's stop losses all kicked in and automatically sold just 7% lower. And then what do they do? Who are they selling to? Who's doing all this buying? Because if there's that much miraculous selling going on at one time, who's doing all that buying? Because there had to be an equal number of buying on the other end. If you're selling, if all those stop losses are kicking in, who's doing all the buying? BlackRock. It's what an insult to humanity. So I mean, what a beautiful game they have going. But then if you stop and look at it now where are we in the middle of all this? Our auto traders, we're having a field day, boy, because every auto trader is doing what on a 7% drop? We're all buying. So I mean, we got them. We got those guys right where we want them because they had a field day. They had a grand old time for the last 4 years just driving these coins down. Because remember, what can a coin do? All right, you already know the answer to that. A coin can only do what this bucket is doing. It can go up and down. That's all a coin can do.
Yep.
It can't do anything else but go up and down. There's nothing magical about it. So what do they do? What happens when they drive the price down? Everybody's stop loss kicks in, and they sell it. Plus, there's a psychological aspect also. When prices are going down into the ground, your friends and family are saying, "Get out! You're being made a fool of. You're going to lose all your money." So millions of people sell out. How many people were sitting on a dozen or even 50 bitcoins years ago and sold it all off because their friends and family said you're losing everything. You're going to lose it all. And so even a few years ago, what did they do with Bitcoin? They ran it up to 60, And then millions of people got in because we were in a bull market. Everybody was having a ball watching these coins go higher. Then they ran it all the way down to 24,000. And then everybody bailed out at a loss because they thought it was going to go to zero. I don't know why they thought such a thing. And then they ran it all the way up to 120,000 after everybody's already out. So you can talk to your neighbors, talk to anybody out in the stores. I talk about crypto everywhere I go. I mean, I hardly go anywhere without mentioning crypto. So, how's your crypto doing? I say to strangers. And then they usually say, "What's a crypto?" Or the other, there's only one of two stories I hear. One is, no, there's three. What's a crypto is a common one. Or I got to do some more reading up on crypto. Okay, good luck on that. That's going to really help you a lot to read up more on crypto. Uh, you know,
Yeah.
and then the other one is I lost all my money in crypto because I got in high and I sold at the bottom at a loss. Okay? The robotic traders never sell at a loss. So what did they do? So what happens? So BlackRock was having a field day. They were having a ball for the last 5 years, from 21 till now, driving these coins lower and lower and lower. Because remember, that's all they can do. They can go up and they can go down. When they go up, people want to jump in the market. But when they go down, people want to jump out of the market. So anytime they want to load up at ridiculously low prices, they just lower the prices. And then people panic and all want to get out. And the people they're very consistent, the public. Some of you will relate to this because I get emails every day on it. We had a beautiful up day a couple days ago. You have no idea how many emails I got. People saying, "How come my auto trader's only investing this much? I wanted to put at least half my money in." It's like we're down, we're on a downtrend, folks. BlackRock is in the business of buying right now. They are loading up, trying to corner the market, trying to buy every share they can, and I don't blame them. Hey, I'm all in. And they're all in too because they just froze withdrawals from at least one of their funds. They said we're not going to allow any more withdrawals. Why? And you notice they did that right after they drove the market down 7% and they loaded up. They bought so much crypto on that drop. They used up all their money. That's my take on it. Because all of a sudden they said, "Hey, we got to freeze withdrawals. We're out of money." Seriously. So, luckily, the auto trader trades the way they trade. I can't make the prices go down because if I could, I would, because buying at the bottom is gold. Every crash you've seen, that if you guys can think back, some of you are way too young to remember the 87 crash. That was a big one. But coins and the 2000 crash, they never dropped more than 50% in the stock market, and that's enough to make people jump out of windows and everything. But the crypto market actually over the last 5 years has dropped 90%, which is phenomenal. To be able to drop a coin that far. But what's the best part about it is, the best part for all of us is we can buy on those drops. So while BlackRock was loading up, they were having a field day. I'll give them. They were having so much fun driving those prices lower and buying at lower prices. So they started up here at the top, buying on this downtrend and buying more and more and more. I mean, they're sitting on, last I heard it was like $88 billion, but I don't know. After a few weeks ago, I think that number had to probably hit 100 billion by now. And they're underwater on all of it. But it's okay because they're playing the long game. They know what's going to happen. Because just like what I notice every time we just have a couple up days, everybody wants to jump in. They want to put all their money in. I have to really slow them down. Hold on. The auto trader's smart enough not to put all your money in on this couple up days because this whole market could drop drop 50% more. We can't trust the market. So they had a field day loading up on the way down because they know when they start running it back up, the public's going to just jump in like crazy and start buying. and
Hey, Ed,
everybody's going to want to get back into the market. And that's when they're going to get richer. And we piggybacked them the whole way down. The only difference is while we were going down, we were playing the bucket and a well game. We were buying and selling and just holding the ones that went lower, holding that inventory, the higher inventory that, that we're underwater on. But in the meantime, we kept taking money. So we actually, did a lot better than they're doing. Of course, they're probably doing the same stuff, don't you think, Casey?
Oh, 1000%.
Yeah, yeah,
This is just
they're
our
raking
access to
money.
it.
What's that?
I said, this is our access to it.
Yeah, we get to do what they're doing. We get to play with the big boys. Usually you don't get to play in their sandbox. But so we did the same thing, and we're gonna make a fortune when this market recovers. You got to play the long game. You can't play the day-to-day game because you can't just try to look at a couple charts and then jump in because you think it's going to go higher and then it goes lower and then what do? You use up all your money at the top, you won't have any money to trade at the bottom. And I want that bucket in the well to continue trading no matter where the price goes. I'm always in the game. So the price actually went over the last 5 years from up here all the way to down here, and it's still wiggling down here. So we're still taking money constantly down here. Profit wise, at least if you've been running like me for 5 years with this auto trader, I'm way up here profit wise. I'm all the way up here at the top. I mean, I've already made more profit than they could take away from me if they all went out of business. And
hey,
you'll
Ed, you
see
think
that
you
in my
could show the
trader in a
trader?
minute.
You think you
Sure.
could share the trader? Because that's where it gets to nitty gritty. It's
And how come you notice every time I'm doing a webinar, it's got to be a down day? Why couldn't, a couple of days ago, the market was all up, 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 up. And I'm like, but I hadn't have any webinars. I couldn't share a nice, beautiful update. Well, you could see it down here, what happened on that update. Look at 316. Look at all that money. Look at all that free money, I call it, all in one day. I mean, that was a beautiful day. I'm thinking, why didn't I have a webinar on 316 so I could show these people what happens when the market turns around on just one update? Look at that. All this free money,
wow.
you know. And that's what it does. That's how the trader trades. It's constantly buying and selling, buying and selling. If you scroll down, you can see, it's like a 7-Eleven. You put product on the shelf. If I'm looking down here in this area, you can see the buys where there's no price and the sells where there is money. It's a constant taking of money for the rest of your life. As long as the coin stays in business, it doesn't matter where it goes. Look at 719 to 720, all that free money.
And it
And then
doesn't even
some
have to
days,
stay in business. Dogecoin isn't even a business. Just people are
yeah,
buying and
yeah,
selling
That's
it.
funny.
I know. Well, Elon Musk, every once in a while, he'll come on. He used to come on TV and say, "You can buy a Tesla with your Dogecoin." And every time he said that, I'd say, "I can buy a Tesla with any coin. Just sell the coin and go buy the car." I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
However, the coin would jump 30% when he said that. I'm like, I don't get it. Alchemy Pay is my favorite coin, though, of all time. I mean, I've taken so much money on Alchemy Pay.
Well, so
If
you're
your
right there. Go
wallet
back
is
to
dropping.
Yeah, go back to January of 25. You're almost there, and show what Alchemy Pay did in a matter of 3 or 4 days.
Oh yeah, it was beautiful. It's just such an insult to
There you
humanity. I
go.
call this market such an insult because it's so easy and people want to think that it's more than what it is. It can't be anything more than numbers going up and down, folks.
So right
I don't
there
know
on
what I don't know what you're thinking.
on the 26th, look at the profits that it took.
Oh yeah, that one's 2000, $2,200, 2000, $1,700. It's just
Well,
all this free money. I mean, it went, look at this, from 2 cents, 0.02 cents to almost 6 cents in 5 days. That's a 200% return, right?
Yeah, you can keep scrolling
Yeah.
up. You'll see even more.
Oh yeah, it's just a constant. Look at all that free money. Look at all this free money. And then the beauty is while it was going up, it was wiggling. So while it was going up, it was still wiggling down and up. down and up. And then, so you see these buys in the middle of that beautiful uptrend. So while it was going higher, we were buying more. So we were double dipping. The inventory that we bought when it was going down originally, that we held on to, we were selling. Plus, we were buying more while it was going up because of the wiggles. So we were kind of we had them trapped. And right now, and you can see all the way, here's January 27th. It just the selling continued. 28th, 29th. I mean, this is all ACH. It's just, and then some GRTs jumped in there. Look at all this. Just beautiful, beautiful free money. And at all hours of the day and night. That's 1:13 in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. I mean, I love it. I open up my laptop in the morning and to see how much money I made while I was sleeping. I mean, it's just the coolest thing. It's the Warren Buffett quote. You got to make your money work for you.
While you sleep, or you work till you die.
Yep.
And to me, it's the ultimate savings account. You put your money in here and you watch it take profits. You put your money in a bank. I mean, let's talk for 1 second about a bank real quick.
When you put your
No,
money
I
in the
mean, we got
bank,
to
you
talk
watch,
about what their business is.
you watch
You're,
them take your profits.
yeah. Well, you're not. I don't think the public understands business. If you get a credit card, they are loaning you money and charging you 30% for that money. See how business works? They benefit. If they're gonna loan you money, then you have to pay them for the money. However, people put money in a bank and you're loaning your money. You are the credit card and you are loaning money to the bank. And you're saying, I'm only going to charge you 1% interest for that money. But the credit cards are charging you 30% for the money. So why don't you charge the bank 30%? I will loan you my money, but I'm going to charge you, bank. I want 30% for that money that I'm loaning you, that I'm putting in the bank. People don't look at it that way. They feel like the bank's there to be their friend. Here, you're saving my money for me. You're holding it for me.
Hey,
Hey,
Casey,
got a mattress. I can save my own money.
Casey, is there any chance that the banks built a system to scam you?
Oh yeah, 1000%. Well, what's funny is well, why don't we learn anything about finance in public schools or how to write a check or how banks work, how
Yeah.
to do our taxes because
The
they don't want
common
us to
things we
know.
do.
And what's funny is so I have a finance degree, and while I was going through finance school, all of the teachers, they were not traders. They were not people that were savvy in finance. They're just teaching us how to become sales holes for to sell prepackaged stuff for BlackRock, for Fidelity. You don't whenever I got my degree, I was like, I got a degree in a scam. And I didn't want anything to do with it. So it's funny whenever I did kind of discover crypto and Bitcoin, I was like, wow, this could actually change finance to make it what it should be, fair and straightforward without third party garbage, waste of time, fees, just downright theft and fraud. But I mean that's how it is. And hopefully we're moving into a different paradigm where people will start to learn about it and it's being exposed for sure. But they do spend a lot of money on mainstream media to keep everybody distracted and focus on other things.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, I mean that's what they're doing. They're just stealing from us.
Yeah. And let me just say one other thing, just my history with banks. Um, I think it's the same history as everybody on this Zoom. Whenever in my lifetime I've walked into a bank with a pile of money and I've said to them, here, multiply my money, they have failed me miserably. They don't do that for the public. They don't so what choice do we have? Well, this Go Baby Trade's the best choice I know because it's multiplying our money on itself, like Ed Barsano just said. Warren Buffett said it many, many years ago, 25 plus years ago. If you're not making money in your sleep, meaning multiplying your money, you're going to work till you die. So anyway, go ahead. I don't know who is talking, Ed.
Well,
Well,
working until you die isn't a bad thing if you're enjoying your work, but
well,
not you have to work.
if
That's,
if you're enjoying it, it's not work. If you're
I
doing it
know.
for yourself, to profit for you, your family, and everybody around you. It's not work. But the scam, the not the Casey scam, but the scam that Casey was speaking of, teaches you what? To go to school, spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on a degree because they say you're not good enough, right? Which is the lie identity that the matrix feeds you, to get a degree, be in debt for life, get a job, trade time for money.
Yep.
That's the scam. And then they build this entire fiat fake system around you.
Right.
And then
And
they
it's
teach
designed
you,
that way.
and then they teach you with your money, you need to give it to a financial advisor, which I have all of that education that they gave me. And here's what they're doing. Like BlackRock, I don't know if you've seen the whole like private credit crisis that's going on now. So what they'll
Mm-hmm.
do is like, hey, BlackRock or Fidelity, they're all, Charles Schwab, they're professional finance people and I trust them with my money. So what they do is they take your money, they lend it out and are getting like 30% on super risky stuff and then only giving you maybe 5 to, I don't know, sometimes 13%. You're taking on all the risk. They always get bailed out.
Yeah.
And that's just the smart way to manage your finances is to give it to these professional finance people that are scamming everybody, sadly.
Sadly.
Right. Hey, I had one financial advisor. He used to, he ran I mean, he still does probably, but he ran my auto traders. And he said when he sits down with a new client, the first thing he tells them is there's more to life than money.
That's a good
He's your
expectation to set, I
financial
guess.
advisor.
That's crazy.
I'm hiring you to make me money. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
Well, another
Well,
thing you
that's
got
just
to do when the financial advisor drives up, another thing you got to do is look out the window and see what he's driving. If he's driving a jalopy, don't even let him in.
well,
So,
why do you think they call them brokers?
He or she.
oh, because they're going to make you broker?
Yes, because when you come in, you have money. When you go out, you're broker.
All right, why don't we go? One of the questions we get, Ed, a lot is the question on like, how much money should I start with? So maybe if you could show the
Oh,
time.
unlimited. But right here, I wanted to just point out, since we were on the
Sure.
screen right here, this
Yeah.
Dogecoin, look at the sell. It sold it at 10 cents right there.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then that was at 6:30 in the morning a
No,
couple days
PM.
ago, or no, in the evening a couple days ago. And then today, so it'll wait as long as it needs to. At 10:14 this morning, it bought it back again at a lower price, at 0.095. You know,
Beautiful.
and that's, it's just buy, sell, buy, sell. It's how all business is done.
And
So
here,
let me
Ed,
tell you, I didn't invent any of this. This is how commerce has worked for thousands of years.
can I ask a question on the money management part of that transaction? Look at the quantity that it sold and it bought like almost just under 4 times more.
Yeah, well, it's money management, risk management built in. I mean,
Wow.
I am
That's a,
so, with the thousands of clients that I have worldwide using these auto traders are running right now on my servers and nobody's looking. It sounds scary, when you think about it. These auto traders are trading the market 100% unattended. They got to be able to do money management, risk management, and they got to deal with all the craziness people are doing with their strategies, changing things.
yeah.
It's remarkable.
Also,
Well, to,
show them the layer two part where they put in even just fake small orders in order to manipulate prices to,
Oh,
margin
sure.
call people or move the market.
Well, the best price is right here at this yellow point. Look at those fake orders right under it, 11.7%. Our number, I mean, the spread, the price, 11.7 cents.
Yep.
No, no, that's the quantity, 11.7 shares. You see them popping in. Those are like fake orders. I mean, they're not even, the cost would be like a penny, right? So there's no way they're selling something for a penny, you know. A
Mm.
penny's worth of shares. And, the software, when you see, look at those fake orders down there at the bottom. I mean, those things, they manipulate the price is what they do. And the best bid price is your highest bid price right here. Your best ask price is your lowest bid price or ask price up above. Look at the 11.7 shares up there. Look at all that. That's all fake right there when they do that. These are fake orders, and that's just the ones you're seeing there because they stand out because the you can tell by the low volume. A lot of these are fake orders you're looking at up here, folks. A lot of them. This is the level 2 screen. These are orders people floated at the exchange, to say if the price goes here, I want to buy or I want to sell. And so if the order, what you're looking at is when you hear if you look at the website, and you see today's current bid price or current ask price, you're just looking at this one price right here for the ask price and this one price right here for the bid price. You're not seeing all the manipulation. So you're looking at a fake order price right here, or right out of the gate. And you think that's the price. Because sometimes I'll get email from people and they'll say, it hit my price. How come it didn't sell? Or how come it didn't buy? And I'm like, well, that really wasn't your price. For the volume of shares that you're trading, it's going to have to add up all this volume here I mean, I would have to buy all these shares from here to here maybe to cover your order, which means you're gonna pay if you're buying, you're gonna pay this higher price, not this lower price. So, and the same thing if you're selling, you think you're gonna get that price, but you're really gonna get a much lower price when you sell because you're selling a lot more shares than what these first ones all add up to. The software does all that math. This is something you could not do manually. And I don't know anyone else that programs this into their auto trader if there was. All the auto traders out there are all fake. They didn't even exist for 21 years. There were no auto traders. When TD Ameritrade called me in 2006 and said, will you connect your auto trader to us so our clients can use it? They didn't have like 50 auto traders to choose from. I was the only one. I was the only one in existence, and I was always looking over my shoulder for years, looking where are the competitors, and I had none. And then, but
You still
during
don't.
that, I still don't have any
But yeah, can you
competitors.
explain how AI works as far as anybody who even would have made one 5 or 7 years ago? It's the equivalent of a 5, 7-year-old competing with a 25-year-old.
Right.
I think a lot of people think
AI.
AI is new, but it came out in the 80s and
Oh
you,
yeah, AI's been out since 1955, but you would have needed a mainframe. I've been programming AI since 1989, since my Microsoft days, and they sent me to class for it, which was cool. And what's cool is when you get to go to a class for something and nobody else does. Here's a company with thousands of other developers in it, and they only sent me. Isn't that cool? And
Yeah.
then, and then you come back and you're the expert because you're the only one that knows how to do it. And it's always like that. In nuclear engineering for the government, it was the same thing, and the Navy was the same. It's like I get the job done. I'm not there to play. Some of you may be ex-sailors. How about it? How about ex-Navy people or ex-military people? A lot of people they were doing what I call smoking and coking, drinking cokes and smoking cigarettes all day. Nobody wanted to work. And when the hard programming came in, the hard programming tasks came in, I mean I remember I heard someone say, "Leave this one for Barsano," and then he laughed, ha ha ha, because it was the hard one, And it's like, you idiot, you're passing up the opportunity to learn how to do something hard, instead of all the baby program. What do you want to write? Just reports? Anybody can do a report, but how about writing a real program?
Yeah, let me say something
Complex
about it, if you
program.
don't mind. Let me jump in and talk about really what you've created. And this is just scratching the surface. But you look at Casey was talking about, as compared to AI, this and that and the other that are in the
Yeah, I wanted to
marketplace
talk
now.
about the
So,
AI. I want to
yep.
finish talking about
So
that.
Yep. So the idea is that what you've created is a complete package. Anything else that's out in the marketplace, and I've been scouring the market for anything that comes close to what you've created. There literally isn't any, but there are all kinds of bots and predictors and things out there that look at the current trends that have AI that maybe has 6 months to 2 years worth of data in it, and it's predicting. So it'll predict, but guess what? It doesn't have 26, almost 26 years worth of clean AI data in it. But more importantly, what does it also not have? You have a complete round turn system that I talked about it in the beginning, provides complete security because it's all under your control. It provides automation, so it doesn't just predict. It doesn't guess, but it actually makes the trades for you. And that doesn't exist anywhere else but in your system. Period.
And it also runs on my servers, so you don't have to have a computer running all day long. You don't have to worry about is it running.
Or
You
is it
know,
hackable because they can't get into your system?
there's no way they're getting in my servers. Um, and then, this, so what I was saying about the AI is each auto trader, and there's thousands of them through the years, write data for the 27 major indicators. You can go to eBay and buy the book, Technical Analysis from A to Z. It'll tell you what's bullish and what's bearish about each indicator. Okay, so each trader is actually writing to files, and that AI, the pattern recognition software, separate from the auto trader, is running on 4 of its own servers, and it picks up all that data. It's got terabytes of data, and it's what it's called training. It trains on that data. So it's seen patterns from 2001 all the way to today.
Can you tell me about
And
the prop house experience too? Unless you already did that.
Nope.
no, but I will now that you mentioned it. Very good, thank you.
Sir, she
Um,
asked for it and she gets it. Got it.
see?
That
Well, I
was
mean, that's
good.
how you initially figured out what they're doing, and you kind of secretly
Oh,
took their
all kinds of
information.
stuff.
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff. I learned so much stuff over the years to spot the corruption. But the AI, it because been running so long and it's seen millions of patterns, it can. What I always say is it can. AI, by the way, pattern recognition was designed originally for like eye scans, fingerprint analysis, facial analysis. I like to say it could spot a zebra through a picket fence.
Hmm.
But it can't tell you where that zebra is going to be tomorrow morning. That it cannot tell you. So when all these AIs are out, all these other traders are out there saying, "Oh, look at us, we have an AI trader," they're trying to tell you that their AI can tell you what a coin is going to do tomorrow. Because anybody could buy it right now. If you're using AI to determine to buy it right now, you better be looking at because you're going to sell it right now. You're buying it, and if you're using AI to make the determination when to buy it and when to sell it, then that can only be within a half-hour window, because it can't. Because as soon as you buy it, what happens if it goes the wrong way? What is your solution? That they don't have. They don't talk about that because in their mind, every time they buy, they think it's just going to go straight up. But that's not how the world works. You're gonna buy and it's gonna go the wrong way. And then your auto trader, your whole strategy has to know how to handle it. You know, so their AI is so new. AI is like it can't tell you 1 plus 1 is 2. It's got to learn that through the data. So their AI doesn't know what it doesn't know. It's like what Crypto Casey said. If it's only been running for 5 years, then they don't know what happened in 2017. They don't know. They have no patterns showing going back before the 5 years. And believe me, there are thousands, tens of thousands of patterns. When you look at, you know, factorial 27 indicators, you're talking millions of patterns. My AI has been running long enough to actually have seen all those patterns. And it can tell you that when I buy the coin now, don't sell it yet because the price is going to go higher within the next 30 minutes. So that's what the AI is for, is to work within a 30-minute window. It's a snapshot of the environment. So you developers, I hope I taught you something. If you're, I mean, if there are probably some developers out there, that's okay. So I want you to understand what AI really is. It's not, when you see robots and stuff like that, that's all immediate action. You're not seeing stuff that robot isn't doing, that robot doing stuff in the, I don't know, in the movies. You always see AIs and, you think about all that stuff. It's not looking out a day, it's doing something right now. And you're thinking that's impressive. But it can't really look further out. That's the power of the auto trader handles all of that. And another thing, it'd be like a 25-year-old running a foot race against a 5-year-old. They don't have a chance. They don't have these AIs that are out here, they're not even real. I've gone to their websites. I looked at a few of them, not because I want to. Some people send me links and say, "Hey, Ed, will you look at this other site for me?" It's like, you're asking me to look at somebody who could potentially be my competitor. But I'll go ahead and look at it if you want. And,
Mhm.
the two that really pop out at me was one that said, we have 50 strategies you can pick from. And now right away I'm thinking, well, I have one strategy that makes money. I don't know. I can't imagine where you're coming up with 50 of them. And then the other one that was really a vintage, website, it said, if you give us this much money, we'll give you one strategy, but if you give us more money, we'll give you a better strategy. Goodbye. Get out of here. I give you the same strategy I run myself. We're all running the same strategy. If I have a better strategy, and the strategy gets better over the years as I learn more and people shared with me. And then as I learn more, like Crypto Casey said, in 2001, I was looking for high-speed data. This is how fate just always came to me. I was looking for high-speed data that I couldn't get at home because I had a dial-up modem at home. And we didn't have high-speed internet, not like now. We have gigabit connections. So I needed high-speed data. And so I went to a prop house. They call them prop houses, where professional traders are sitting in there trading. And, so I could plug it in and I could get their data, right? High-speed data. And while I was there, I was fiddling around, buying some Microsoft, buying and selling it, you know. And I said, and I bought some Microsoft, and then I just verbally announced, to the whole room, it was a big bullpen with a whole bunch of tables, right? And I said, how do I know when to sell this Microsoft that I just bought? I just threw it out there to see who would respond. And somebody came up on my right shoulder here, and he says, that's easy. You see that guy's order right there? You see this level 2 screen? You see that guy's order right there? Sell it right under him. Sell it right under his price. I couldn't believe it. So you notice what happens is you set your target here and you put it out there in public view, your stop loss or your profit goal if it hits it. And they teach you this in school. They say when you buy a coin, the first thing you should do is put 2 orders in. Put your profit goal order in, so if it hits your target, it sells, and put your stop loss order in down below, that if it goes down 3%, it automatically sells at a loss. Well, they're looking at both of these orders, by the way. So this one, they say, he said, sell it right under this guy, because if someone has a chance to buy the coin, if they want to buy it, they're not going to pay your price. If I'm selling it, if they could buy it at a lower price right under you. So it's almost going to your price, but then it bounces off, and it tries to go to your price again, and then it bounces off. You wonder, that's not by accident. It's all the professional traders are doing all the buying and selling right under you. They're drying up all the buyers. So then all of a sudden you see the price go away, go down, and you say, "Oh, it almost made it to my goal." It's like you were being made a fool of. And they literally in there were laughing at some of the people's limit orders that they had set for their profits. And because they were all just buying and selling right under that, and they were never going to let it hit that guy's price. Then I sat in a day trading house and where a guy put an order in for his Microsoft, someone not inside there, but another someone out in the world, and he put a stop loss order in right 3% below it. In that case, in that back then it was he bought Microsoft and he put a $1 stop loss lower price to sell a dollar lower. So as soon as he bought and this was in another prop house where I was in a training room and the guy teaching the class did not know what he was talking about. I was dying listening to him teach the class. And so one of the guys in there trading put his order in to sell it a dollar lower. And as soon as he put that stop loss order in, the price went right down to his stop loss and took him out.
Oh
So
man.
then he just lost, and he was trading 1,000 share lots. He just threw away $1,000, like throwing it away on the street. And then he said, every time I put a stop loss in, it just goes right down and takes me out. He said, I'm the ominous indicator. And finally, I couldn't take it anymore. I said, idiot, they're looking at your order. The professional traders are making a fool of you, you
Yep.
know? And
Casey,
unfortunately, I was only in there to steal their data, their high-speed data, and I was in this training room, and the guy that was teaching the class was the owner of the place. So when I
Casey,
said that, idiot, you're being made a fool of, the owner was standing by the door, and he heard me, and he says, you, out. He kicked me out.
That's funny.
So,
Casey.
so I learned a lot, about how the whole market is skewed against the public, and then the auto trader. All these things I just talked about are all built into the auto trader to prevent that stuff from happening. So they can't play those games with us at all.
Ed, can I demystify skewed? Let me change skewed to manipulated. Casey,
Oh, all right.
how
Yeah,
much of the market out there is manipulated?
all of it.
All
No,
of it.
actually, I had a question that I've never posed to Ed, so hopefully, so a lot of the AI trading bots that have been created for crypto. Look, when do you think crypto AI bots started? Because we have Bitcoin 2009, 2010. When do you think they started training? Like, who would be the if we started training an AI bot system at the very beginning, like 2011, you still have 10 years on it from stock trading.
Yeah,
From
the
maybe your experience.
stochastics and MACD, the relative, all those indicators they're common right across the board.
Okay, cool. So my question is, I guess, like, how much of a advantage does the fact that it has stock trading into the model? How much better is it? But also, how is it different? Because I think from my experience, crypto, it's just more compressed. So maybe like a day of stock trading would be like a month of crypto trading. It's just happening more frequently and around the world. What have you noticed different, any differences at all? Does that make sense?
Boy, it's hard to find differences other than the
Okay.
fact that the cryptos jump around. So
Yeah.
the prices, that's a major
So it's
difference.
more like compressed. So like a day of crypto is like a year of stock or maybe a month or something.
Yeah. I've never thought about it like that because the coins are just moving because you're always just looking at a snapshot of the current environment. That all the indicators are giving me a number right there saying based on this movement in this 30-minute window. Because after that, as you go forward, the indicators all start changing and then you're getting all different permutations, different answers, and then the accuracy of it just drops off. Sometimes, like if you can see, there are periods in here. If I look around, you can see where the AI kicked in on this trade, but it was the only one. There was no other AIs around it. You notice? And then, but if I scroll around, sometimes you can see like a whole bunch of AIs will kick in all at once. Like here, look at this. You got four, all those. They all have AI at the end of them. And so they all kicked in, look at this time, 11:02 a.m., 11, all on one day on 10/1. 11:02, 11:15, 12:53, 12:53. So the whole market, when the whole market's doing something, you can see it more. But sometimes it's only one coin doing something. And
And that's
you know,
manipulation. It's not natural.
oh no, it's not natural.
Yeah.
Probably not at all because
It's
how
blatant
many times is,
manipulation.
if it's not the institutions, they're the only ones talking to each other. Most people are literally sitting at home by themselves. God, I feel sorry for them. And they're investing all their money and they're gambling because they really don't know. And they're not getting thousands of people's inputs. So they're just sitting there gambling, and they lose all their money and then they say, or they lose a bunch of money and then they change the strategy and then they, lose more money. Remember one thing that's real important about automated trading, probably the most critical thing that you should know. If you can't make money manually, then you don't want to automate a losing strategy because you'll have an auto trader automatically losing. It'll just be an auto trader that automatically loses. You can lose the money all day long and automate that. So part of what Go Baby Trade brings to the table, what I bring to the table is the fact that I dedicated the last 25 years to this. Now you're always going to hear things like other people say, "Well, I've been trading for 40 years." That I don't care. You've been trading for 40 years, but you haven't really been, what's real good about an auto trader that's different than me just learning a bunch of rules or I mean, you learn a lot of stuff just naturally how to trade if you're doing manual trading. But you're really not writing down the rules and going through the checklist. Do you really? I want to know who is sitting there with a long list of 47 things to checklist before they make a trade. Are you going through the checklist and saying, all right, there's that there, that pass, that pass, that pass? By the time you got to the bottom, the whole environment changed. You'd have to start over again.
Yeah, if you
You
just look
know?
at that layer two screen going, you're as a human, if we're going through 47
Oh, you
things,
couldn't do it.
meanwhile, it's impossible. It's
Yeah, there's
impossible.
no way you could add all this up, and nobody does that. I doubt any other auto trader out there even does this with the level two, adds the stuff up, and to figure out how many shares am I actually trading, because I'm not going to get filled at that price. I would have to buy all this many shares, let's say from here down, to cover the order that I'm putting in. And then you got to understand that some of these are going to disappear because there's a million other traders out there buying and selling that they're going to pluck orders out of there that aren't going to be available to me. So I thought I was going to have to go this high, but really I'm going to have to go a little higher to cover the shares, the order that you're ordering, that I'm filling to buy or to sell. So I mean, so in the auto trader, it never forgets a rule. That's the beauty is all like I just made up a number, but 47 of those, all 47 rules are always passing. Always. And they all have to pass. The auto trader is ruthless. It won't give in for a penny, man. I mean, I see my profit goal sometimes. I'm one penny away from taking that profit. But I'm not going to give in and hit that close button myself. No way. I'll wait. Let the auto trader do it. I don't care. I don't care if I miss a trade. I simply don't care because I'm going to let the auto trader do what it does. The auto trader is in charge.
Well,
How
it's
much,
interesting. I
You
think a
don't
lot
see
of,
any manual orders in my reasons for trades. There are no manual orders.
I'm not
how
sure how
much,
long ago it happened, but it was like maybe a couple months ago, or maybe at the end of this past year. Over
That was a
53%
couple
of,
months ago.
yeah, over 53% of all the internet activity, just the entire internet activity is now bots and AI, so not real people. And then Ed, what
Great.
percentage of all the financial trades are
Oh,
being
they're all
manipulated?
automated, man.
100%. Well, let's go 99.9%.
All right. You
Because
give
some
them.
people are sitting there buying and selling on their phone or on their computer. right? They're
Oh,
still
oh yeah.
obviously.
That's You don't mean the individual users. They're all manually trading.
I know, but if we are including them with all of the transactions
Oh,
happening, what would you
oh, yeah,
speculate?
you're right. Probably 99% of all that activity that you see going on out there is all institutional.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
and I
all.
mean, and when you know look at for the average person that may be in crypto for a year or two, or may just think about getting in crypto, um, how do you think? How is a person to think that they could have a snowball's chance in hell of competing with all the automation that's out there? I mean, just within this system, the greatest system on the planet that the everyday person, the non-accredited investor, has access to can automate. And I mean, if you can't look at the screen and see that it's working for you while you're sleeping, if you think you can do it manually, which is all what I talked about before, is all these other so-called bots out there. They give you indicators. Are you going to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning? And by the time you do, by the way, once the public receives the information, the opportunity is in your rearview mirror. You will never, ever, ever catch up with it, particularly if you're trying to compete with the automation.
Or even if you set your stop losses and you do all this stuff, they see that and they operate from those parameters.
That's how they know to manipulate the market. Ed just
You're
explained it.
giving them your card of hands,
That's
really.
right. They're showing
Oh
if you have
yeah.
three aces and they have four kings, what are you going to do? You're going to go all in with your three aces. You don't know that that they already have you beat.
And they're looking at everything going on out there. Look at Swift, this SWFTC. Look
Can
at
you?
the level 2 screen. The
Yeah.
numbers aren't even hardly changing at all. That's just telling you right now the institutions have laid off. They laid
Yep.
off,
Yeah, it's pretty
and this
slow.
is what it looks like when the Joe Public's trading. Hardly any movement. That's what a normal screen would look like if it's just the public. When it's the institutions, they're having a field day. They're out there, their computers are going gangbusters.
Yep.
No, I mean, the common misconception is that all these smart, savvy financiers or financial people are buying something low and then waiting over time, doing the Warren Buffett thing, and then just watching it go up. That's not what they're doing. They
No.
manipulate the market. They actually capture all of their profits from volatility. The only difference between us and them is they actually have the power to manipulate the price.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
They're doing something for us. What a gift. I call it just like a gift from God that they let us, they lowered the prices to a remarkable low for us. Because if you think back of all the previous crashes, who gets rich in a crash? The ones that loaded up at the bottom. All the people getting hammered as the prices are going lower and panicking and selling out. I was sitting in a Charles Schwab office once during a crash, and I heard and the phones were ringing, and I could hear one guy said, "Just get me out." Just get me out. Just sell it all. And that's what they do. They lower the prices and they scare the public out, and the public just panics and sells everything at a loss. And it's a beautiful game,
Yep.
for the
Ed.
whales, for the institutions. They're
Yep.
just making fools of all of us.
Yep. Ed, would you mind if I disagreed with you on something?
Sure.
Okay. So you
Yeah, I'm
say,
used to people disagreeing with me.
well, no. It's really a
But sure,
disagree,
Edward.
agree. Pardon
He,
me?
he said sure, which means he does mind.
Yeah. Yes, he
Yes,
does.
I
All
would mind. Good.
right.
No, you're right, Attilla. That
So,
was good.
so you say that they've done a beautiful thing for us by hammering and manipulating the prices down. Okay.
Thank you.
I
Yes.
believe that that is incorrect. They didn't do it for us. They did it for them. However, you have the magic decoder ring that puts us in a position where we benefit from their manipulation against 99% of the rest of the people out there that don't own a trader because they didn't do it for us. They didn't drop the coin prices 90 plus percent for for the average investor, but they
No,
did.
not at
The
all.
the Barsano interpretation, genius interpretation, is that you put something in place that they've crushed the market for us to take advantage of it, but
And
only
they
if you own the trader.
and they try to remember what I said. They drive the price lower, and that gets the public out.
Right.
People, when
Right.
the prices are going down, people want to get out. Well, let's look at how it works. If your open inventory, you have shares, and the price of the coin goes down. When the price of the coin goes lower, your open position P&L gets more negative. But that drives your account value lower. That makes your account value be lower. That's why I try to tell people, if anybody learns anything on this video, on this webinar, learn to quit looking at your account value. It's a manipulated number.
That's
Quit
right.
looking at that number
Yep.
because they're driving the prices down faster. Say the coins drop 30% in a month. The auto trader, if the auto trader just makes 8.8% a month, it's made 100% a year profit. So you don't have to make that much. They're not going to drive it down 30% every month. There won't be a market after 3 months. So, but if they drive it down 30% in a month, that pushes the account value down faster than the auto trader can take profits, can take these profits, because they're not wiggling it up and down enough during that month, because they're trying to get everybody to sell. And
All
that's
right.
when people panic, is because they think they're losing when they see their account value going down. I'm like, quit looking at that. In the long run, you literally can't lose. It's like you said, Attila, one time we were doing a webinar, and you said, look at all the profit your trader took, 375,000. It was actually my other trader that had 975,000,
All right.
right? But and I said, I didn't take that. Just messing with you. I
I
said, I
saw it.
didn't take that. And you're like, what are you talking about? It says right there, your total profits taken were 900 and something thousand. And I said, oh, I didn't take that, you know?
All right.
And you were like, what are you talking about? And I said, I took this over here, $51, $102. This is how you take money. You just keep taking it, and this will add up. I
Hey,
was
Ed.
talking to somebody just a couple days ago, and I said, picture the doors in your house. Picture a door in your house that opens and closes a lot. I right away suggested, say the front door. And the guy responded, he said, well, how about the bathroom? That opens and closes a real lot. And I said, okay, if you put a bucket next to that door, and every time you open that door in the bathroom, you throw $1 in that bucket. Watch how much money you have in that bucket at the end of the month. Because if you just keep, the secret to the market is keep taking profits. It's
Mhm.
commerce. It's how every store works that way. Keep
Right.
turning inventory. And that's
Hey,
why
Ed.
you see blank lines on the days where sometimes you're filling the shelves, and some days you're selling it off. And you do that for the rest of your life. You literally can't lose in the long run.
Hey, Ed. We got to move along. Can you get to the part where you answer people's questions about like how much money should I start with? Because, it's all over the map.
Well, we
But
can go over here. If you go to the website and you
yep,
go to gobabytrade.com/cryptocasey,
right.
okay? That'll do two things. If you go to the pricing, it lowered the price by $1,000, okay, for a 3-year license.
Hmm.
And the other thing is, then you get this other links at the top. Look at the top trader link, and I have it up here. And you can look, if you're looking at how much should I start with, how much do I need? I always hear that stuff, and it's like it's a numbers game, you know. People with $1 million put $1 million in. If you double $1 million, you've made 1 million. If you double 1,000, you've made 1,000. In this case, this guy put 1,000. 1 year ago, he had 1,000. He actually took $1,937 of profits of cash. How did he take that? He might have made 20 cents a trade. I don't know, but it added up to 100 or to $1,900 in a year. And that's actually, Warren Buffett would be going gaga over a system like this. He would love this because he
Yep.
never talks about numbers like these. 191% return. This guy started with $269,000, almost 270,000. Actually took $607,000 of profits. These are real users, man. Tell me my users don't love me. This guy's got to be loving me. And you can
Yeah.
see what he's trading right here. Just click on view details. You can actually see the coins he's trading. These are the 4 coins. He's got 25% of his money divided between each coin. That covers 100% of his money invested. He's allowing buying, he's allowing selling, so they're buying and selling as they wiggle. He's doing 2%, 2% profit goal,
Yeah, so he
and he
lowered
had
it, didn't he?
he did, yeah. And he lowered it
That's pretty
to
conservative, I guess.
he's just yeah, and he's got max lots allowed 50. So he's actually doing, if the coin dropped 2% 50 times from the top, if you bought a 2% drop, 2%, 2%, 2%, all the way down 50 times, the coin would drop. That would be a 100% drop. So that means he's telling the auto trader, spread my money out so that I can cover a 100% drop. So he doesn't even care where the market goes. The coin can drop 80% and he's still down here buying and selling at the bottom while it's down 80%. And those are the profits that are just going to keep adding up forever. Don't worry about this other inventory. I call each finger like one lot. If a coin jumps 20%, a bunch of these lots will sell off at once. So you don't have to worry. If it just goes up 2%, he'll sell that one off. If it goes down 2%, he'll buy it back. Buy, sell, buy, sell. And he's just going back and forth, just taking free money. And believe me, that adds up forever. So yeah, you can look in here. So when people say, how much should I start with? I know once you start using this auto trader, you're going to be looking for where can you find more money to start with. So generally people start with whatever they can.
Yep.
So yeah, and I mean, you can, if you go down here, I think here's this guy here. Can you imagine guy throws $1 million into this auto trader and within a year he took 857,000 of actual profits off the table? So his account's at $1.8 million now. After he started with $1 million, he took 800,000. That's a 79% return. You don't get returns like this anywhere else that I know of. I mean, nowhere else do I know you can get
I think
returns.
Wall Street does because
They're having a field day, man. They're having a field, just like the casinos out here. They're always adding new wings and all that, and the casinos have really they've gotten the people so lazy that you remember they used to have the one-arm bandit. You used to have to pull the thing down. You put a quarter in and then you pull it down, and it paid in quarters. Now people just sit there with their hands going.
hmm.
It's like, are you serious?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I'm in Vegas and I walk through casinos just to get to the buffet in the back. I have to pass through the casino. And I'm watching people on these slot machines. They're just sitting there with their fingers going down like this.
Yeah.
And
They
each
made
one
it a
of
lot
those is a
easier.
dollar.
Yeah. That's a lot faster than pulling the handle.
I know, I hate it, man. It's like I don't even want it. I wouldn't do it. But back to the auto trader here, you only got a few settings. They're already all by default, everything's already set. You tell it the coins to trade, and then and it starts trading in paper trade mode immediately by itself. And then you connect it to the broker through the API, through your Coinbase or your exchange. I mean, Coinbase or Kraken are the two exchanges that I've automated. And then it immediately starts trading it already knows the symbols because you put them there when you were paper trading. By default, when you start, you put symbols in. And then after that, it flips those, it starts trading live. And you don't have to do anything. You literally, the less you know, the better. The people that know more drive me nuts because they go in and they start changing all kinds of stuff,
Right. Right.
They
Yeah.
start changing these. There's only one screen of settings.
Yeah. This is the
You don't
screen you
need a
don't,
lot.
this is the screen you don't want to touch, folks. When you see
Yeah,
this
this
screen,
is
leave it alone.
No, believe me, I've like messed with all of it and don't do it.
and it's like because you're changing the settings thinking about today, and the auto traders, these settings are really thinking about the long term, how it's gonna grind out money forever. And a lot of people are changing the settings. I know what they're doing. I can see right away. like this one here says, don't accumulate more than 2 lots in a day. It can buy and sell 20 times. Buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. But if it's accumulating, that means it buys and then it goes lower and it buys again. Now you've bought the coin twice in that one day. It says stop now. The coin, it might drop down 8% more or something. Why do I want to keep just, I don't want to go buy, 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 buy while it's on a big down day. So it stops after 2 buys. But I can tell when people are trying to get their auto trader to put more money in. They'll set this to like 20. They'll say, I want to accumulate 20 times in a day. And I'm like, and so you get a big down day, you're just going to plow all your money into the trader in one day? Is that your goal? You know, and then what happens when it goes down the next day and you have no more money to trade with? Plus these pauses, these 60-minute pauses between when you open or close a position, it waits an hour to buy again. It's what it means is let the market breathe. Give the market a chance to move around. Don't feel like you got to be in complete control. Oh, it dropped another 3%. Hurry up, buy. No, just relax. In that hour, it might drop another 8% or 10%. Like I said, cryptos jump around. So it's like that. So you don't want to, I wouldn't, Attila and Edward will tell you don't touch any of these. I agree.
No,
Me too.
no. And yes,
There,
and
three
don't
out of three said don't touch the settings. They're already set by default.
you mean 4 out of 4?
No, I didn't agree to that.
I think his are a little different, it looks like.
I think the Italians, they
No,
say,
only because I know when I change a setting, I know intimately what I'm changing. Most people are changing settings, they don't even know what they are. My old system had 10 screens of settings. Can you imagine 10 of these screens with all these crazy things you could do? And some of them were custom indicators that I created, and people were changing the numbers in that indicator. And I'm like, there's no way he can know what that indicator does. Why would he change that number? Whoops. Okay,
how about
let's go back to the
why don't
main
we
trader.
cover before we go to the Q&A, why don't we go to the billion-dollar report? Because that's important, just
Oh,
for a
well,
few minutes.
let's show quickly how we save profits. The
Okay.
auto trader, when it sells, it automatically puts the profits into this current profit save bucket down here. So all your profits automatically get saved. I always say the auto trader's job is to make money. Your job is to spend it any way you want. So the auto trader is not going to just take your money as soon as it made it and start using it. It's going to throw it in the save bucket. I have a Coinbase Visa card that every time I use it, I call it the card that keeps on giving. Like even this trader, in the last 30 days, it's taken $3,900. I mean, am I going to spend all that much money in Whole Foods and Trader Joe's, really? You know, it's just because I don't have any other bills, really, other than food and and some utilities. So, but the card, it just, I like the card. I even have like a Sam's Club card that pays 5% cash back on some stuff, and if I get gas, I get 5% cash back. I don't even use that card because my Coinbase card takes it right out of my USDC directly. So it's a debit card. And I call it the card that keeps on giving because no matter how much I use it, it just never runs out of money. And it's all, to me, it's all, I call the whole market free money. Down is good. You love it when it goes down. So now we got BlackRock. Where do we have BlackRock right now? They all had a lot of fun driving the coins down into the ground, but now that the coins are sitting at the bottom, they're at a what do they call it? A conundrum? What do they got to do now? This is a chess game, and now I'm like, all right, BlackRock, it's your move now. Because every time you lowered it, we just bought more at a lower price. Now what are you gonna do? You didn't scare us out. So now I got them trapped at the bottom, and I'm waiting. I'm like, I keep saying, all right, BlackRock, it's your move now. What are you gonna do? I'm just waiting to see what their next move is because really, If they go lower, they're going to run these coins out of business, and you don't want to do that. Then what are they going to do with their $100 billion worth of crypto that they were accumulating for the last 5 years? They're going to have to. There really is only one thing to do: push it up. And when they push it up, we benefit. And remember something about the market behavior. Let me tell you something that I've observed over the years. A coin goes down a lot more than it goes up, and there's a reason for that. Again, it's always against the public, against their mental state. A coin will jump up 20%, and then for the next 5 days go down 5%, 3%, 7%, 2%, and you're seeing all these down days in a row. People don't notice, they don't remember that time when it jumped up 20%. And then all they remember is these 5 day down days in a row. They're going, oh, another down day, another down day, another down day. Look, another big down day. Well, yesterday everything was up. Now today everything is down. It's all a game, okay? And it's a game to make the people feel like they just want to get out. Because, again, the big boys want to load up at the bottom. But now that we're at the bottom, they're kind of trapped down there, because they can't run it up without us taking money. So we're going to benefit big time. So all your profits are going into this save bucket. When you get to the save bucket, you can manage those. You can release. I like to save the profits so that when it goes lower, you can release them whenever you feel like it. After, market drops 30% in a day, you say, hey, you know what? Release 10,000 of that money that I have saved. You can click on the manage profits there and release it. So in my case, the percent of profits, I save 100%. 100% of my money normally goes into the save bucket, but I just created this Crypto Casey feature she asked for. Managing. This says
It's here,
manage.
finally.
Major announcement.
It's actually not out there for the public yet, but it will be by next week on your birthday. Manage incoming profits. So you can click on that, and here's how you manage your profits. You can go down here and say, save profits 100%, save all my profits. Or you can say, I want whatever, when I close a position, there's profits. I want 25% in my case, I want 25% of those profits to go to ACH. I want 25% to go to GRT. I want 25% to go to the coin that actually made the profit, which is an interesting thing. I added that because if you think about it, it's like that coin just sold that position and made profit. Why not give him some of that money to use? And then the balance is 25%. So 100% of the profits coming in are being basically covered right there. Now in Crypto Casey's case, she's going to put, if this GRT was Bitcoin, she's going to probably put 100% there. I want 100% of the money coming in of the profits to go right into my Bitcoin coin.
And with Bitcoin, at least on mine, I only have buy only, not sell.
Right. So she's accumulating Bitcoin. And so this would be 0. And this would be 0. And do I have another 25 in there? Save profits. This would be 0.
Yeah, so what's interesting is now you don't even have to manually do anything with the money that you're making. You could make that money already do what you maybe intend to do if you're looking at it once a week, once a month, whatever.
And just
That's
let it
cool.
go right into any specific coin you want, and you could direct the money in that direction.
Nice.
I just thought of another line that I want to add here. I want to add one more option here, one more ability to transfer money to store some of that saved money or that money coming in. I want to add another line item called put it in the coin that needs it the most. That's running out of money.
How would that determine that?
Well, if you go to the select currencies, it goes here and it says funds remaining.
Yeah.
The
Mhm.
one that needs it the most is this one. This one only
Oh, I
has
see.
49,000 available. This one here has
Wow.
67,000. How about
That's
putting it into the coin that needs it the most?
mm.
That's
So,
cool.
and you see
Money.
how you just observed how the auto trader keeps getting better.
Yeah.
Feedback,
Yeah. No, that's great. That's
feedback. You know,
money.
I keep getting feedback and people share with me. And because I always said from the beginning, all the way back in 2000 after the market crash, I said, we're going to conquer the market, not I'm going to conquer it. We are going to conquer, we the people. Because I didn't know anything about the market when I set out to automate it. I just knew it was numbers going up and down. I mean, I even had an indicator I thought was cool. It was called lock in loss. And I thought I made it up. I made up the indicator. I'm like, well, you know, if the coin's going the wrong way and I feel like I want to just lock in that loss because I bought it up here, it dropped down here, I'm going to lock in that loss. And somebody called me at the time and he goes, what is that lock in loss? I said, well, that's if you bought a coin and then it went lower and you want to lock in that loss. He said, isn't that a stop loss? I said, what's a stop loss? I automated the market. I didn't know what a stop loss was because that's how illogical a stop loss is.
No, what's funny is like if you had had financial education or background, you would not have made this
I
because
would not have, you're right.
they teach you that this doesn't, is not possible.
They would have ruined it. Yeah. Because I knew nothing about the market, I could approach it with a clear head.
Yep.
And
Because otherwise, yeah, it's all weird, smoke and mirrors.
so the next feature though I got to give you is this one here, Casey. Wait. You see the funds that are already in the save bucket?
Yes.
Right now, if you click edit, and release it. Say I release 10,000, I put minus 10,000. And it's 17,983. And if I do that, I just released $10,000. Where did it go? I'll tell you where it went. It went, it got divided to each of these coins based on the percents.
Oh, that's brilliant. Nice.
But that's how it works now. But what I want to give you is, I mean, that'll be a line item, but I want to give you another one of these screens and say, how do you want that 10,000 to be used?
Oh,
Let
that's
you
already
decide.
sitting there.
Yeah, because you're going to
I
have
got
to
it.
deal with the money that's already sitting in cash. This is money coming in as it's coming in. This is the other one is going to be the cash that's already sitting there. You might want to say divide it equally amongst the funds of each coin, and that'll
Yeah.
be a line item there. But it'll also be like this. Maybe you'll say I want to release that 10,000 to one coin.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So that's a new thing coming. It'll be here. That bottom one won't be here by next week, but the top one will be. There's a
That's
lot of
cool.
code in this, man. You'd be
Yeah, I
surprised.
know. Last week you were saying that you were talking to your son and it was just quite the quandary.
We are bouncing our heads, man. We're just going back and forth, man, trying to, ideas of what's the best way to do this, and it's a challenge. But luckily my son's been programming this stuff for what, since about 15, since 2010. So what is that?
16
No,
years?
no, it couldn't be 10. Let's see, 90. Yeah, no, longer than that. I mean, he was in high school. Yeah, I don't know, probably 15 years. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Ed,
he's a master programmer, blows my mind. So we're really between the two of us. We start out really far apart, by the way, in our idea of how to do it. And that's when the battle starts. These are two developers arguing with each other. And
That's cool.
somehow it all comes together, man. And then we go, yes, that's the answer. That's the way to do it. It's amazing how far apart we are when we first start designing.
Ed, we do that's
All right.
fantastic. First of all, congratulations on that enhancement. Casey, thanks for asking for that enhancement because I
Yeah,
really
you
I
were never
really
going to
like
get
it.
it.
I really like it.
If Edward asked for it, it wasn't coming for a long time.
Wow. You know this is being recorded, right?
Yeah. Um,
But yeah, all so many of the features and ideas people were sending to me, I could see in the old system it had 10 screens of settings, I said. And I always call it 10 screens of ways to blow yourself up. So if you actually go to ChatGPT and say, show me the top 50 bots, if you will, maybe we won't even be on the list, or maybe we'll be so far down there. And I notice why. Because they're giving credit to the traders that have a lot of things you can do. And they don't realize that's bad. That's not good. You're giving it, all right, give a guy, tell him the best spot allows you to change a hundred different things. Well, great. That's gonna wipe everybody out because they're all gambling and they don't know what they're doing and even all these things you're changing, and all those settings. Think about it. When you make if you change, say the market goes down. Today's a down day. Perfect example of a down day. Um, where am I at? Okay, go back.
After this example, Ed, we got to get in the Q&A
All
because
right.
we're behind time.
All right. I'm sorry,
That's all right.
but I
No,
can't
it's
help myself.
all good.
Today's a down day. So what do you think's going on right now?
We're
I'll
buying.
tell you what's going on. People are in their trader changing the settings.
Oh, no.
I'm not
Don't do
lying.
that.
I'm not lying. I'm not lying. I could literally, I'm gonna automate the whole thing. I'm gonna log what is the market doing on the day that they're changing the settings. And I bet more down and change settings get changed more on down days than any other day.
Well,
And
let
then
me
so
ask you.
and then here's the funny part. The market goes up tomorrow and they think they found the holy grail by making that change. And I'm like, you didn't find anything. The market was going to go up tomorrow. You didn't have to change a thing.
Yeah.
But somehow I think they think that they're making the market go up when they make a change. You can't make the market move by changing your strategy. You're not making the market do something. I actually had one person tell me that. She actually said, "I want you to make these coins go up." And I can't do that. But I can take advantage of what the coins are doing.
Hmm.
Um,
So,
all right,
Ed,
we can go to Q&A.
Ed, what's your
Great.
logic
Oh,
with leaving choices where people can still blow themselves up? Because obviously,
All right.
we
I
talked
know
about
you
the.
guys have said it. You said take away the whole screen. Don't let them change stuff.
Well, I mean, when we say it literally is, if you don't touch it, 100% automated, never selling at a loss, takes nothing but profits, gives everything that the market will possibly give you, and then people go in and oh, by the way, we talked about it several times, completely removes emotion, which is the number one killer of people making profits in any trading situation. And the second is is not being able to manage their money. So why not take that away?
Well, the reason is because people because this is a flexible system. If you want to make changes, you can, and I
If
don't
you
want
want
to
to blow
restrict
yourself
you
up,
from
we give
that.
them a choice to do so.
Well, it doesn't mean they're going to blow themselves up. They can make change. I made a change. I changed that from 3% to 5%, my profit goal. I'm not blowing myself up.
yeah, but Ed, wait
I
a minute
mean, you
now.
can make some
Hold on.
changes.
Ed, but wait, you said you told us that when back months ago, when you made that change from 3 to 5%, didn't you say that you actually emailed everybody that owned the trader to let them
When
know?
I went, when I changed it from 2% to 3%, I sent email to everyone. And
Okay,
that was because I could see that the market was no longer moving in real small numbers.
right.
They did jump it. Now,
Uh-huh.
but this is controversial at this point. This 5% is really it's based on two things. We're getting some big moves. Like you can look here. Um like this one here, it's down 5.23%. That could just as easily be up 5.23%. Okay. But look at the other ones. They're not up 5%. They're not up 5%. Not up 5%. Not up 5%. So the smaller 3% is still justified. So I
Mhm.
wouldn't want to tell everyone to change it to 5%. Um, and then the other thing is I changed it to 5% kind of to punish BlackRock because they got the prices all the way down here. You pushed it down there. Now I'm not going to give you my shares unless you give me at least 5%. Why should I give you my why should I sell my shares at a 3% gain when you pushed it down here? Now I'm going to punish you. You got to pay me 5% before I even sell you one share back. I know some people they have their profit goals set to 10% profit goals. Probably because they listen to me talk. Because it's like, hey, you want to buy my shares, then you're gonna have to pay a bigger price. I'm not gonna sell them for less for just 3%. So it's a punishment thing here because I feel like I'm playing chess with those guys for years. We've been going back and forth, and I'm like, all right, you can keep lowering it, but at some point you're gonna get hurt. I could have educated them on that because right now we are sitting at the bottom. And now I'm saying, what's your next move? Come on, BlackRock, make your move. I feel like there's a chess game going on here. I wish I could hit that little timer thing so that they have to move faster because they're dragging their feet.
Also, from my personal experience, whenever I didn't really talk about it in this particular live stream, but if I wasn't able to change settings and it just seemed like a black box and like mysterious, I think I would have been a little bit like, I wouldn't have liked that. I liked how I was
Right.
able to change stuff and, actually see it pan out and not work out.
Right.
And prove that it knew more than I did. I like that.
Well,
But you can also, if you feel like it, if you feel like, you want to click add a position or close a position, or, add more shares. You can tell it how many shares to add, if you feel like it. I mean, I don't want you not to be involved in the market. You know what I mean?
all right.
I mean, I kind of,
My counterpoint is all of the genius you put into this over 25 years and continue on a day-to-day basis. I look at it every day that you make an enhancement. It is refining and sharpening the tip of the spear because, as we always talk about, that people have regular everyday lives. They don't want to necessarily know about all the
no,
techie
but
stuff behind the
everybody doesn't
scenes.
have a regular everyday life. Everybody doesn't. There's a lot of retired people using these auto traders.
No,
I mean,
true,
I've got
but
a lot of people in their 70s and 80s and even 90s running their auto traders, and they love it. And if they see nice profit on a coin, and like I said, even if a coin is a penny away from taking that profit, I won't manually touch these buttons. But some people say, you know what? I'm only a penny away from reaching that goal. I'm going to lock that money in and just take it. That's how some people, you're that close to taking the goal, taking the money. Because sometimes I don't take the profit when it's just sitting there staring me in the face. And then let's see let's minimize this for a second. I don't know, because it already took all the profits. This one here is only down 0.73%. GRT, no. So I'm looking at any of these. These already all took their profits. So sometimes, though, you can look over here and you can see profits here. And sometimes, like say it said I'm down 1,000. What if it said I'm up $300, but I haven't reached my goal yet, my target goal here, and I'm real close to it? Maybe I'm getting ready to run over to Trader Joe's to go shopping, and I might feel like, you know what? Why don't I just close that right now and lock that 300 in so I can,
so
because I'm going to go out and spend it anyway.
all right.
And if
So
I don't close it, what happens tomorrow if the market goes down and then I didn't take it when I had that chance?
I
So,
purposely have been playing devil's advocate. You
oh,
have
I
given
know.
the answer is you've given people discretion to do whatever their heart desires or not. The refinements that you've made, my point being, is that that's all you do. You and your team obsess over how this can take a penny more than it did yesterday. So if you want to do that, if you own the trader or you're interested in buying the trader, you can let it do that. If you want to, you can change the settings. Well, we always say don't touch it.
Well, I'm 12, knowing Ed Barsano since 2012, I remember the days when there were 10 pages of settings and people were blowing themselves up all over the place,
Oh
left and
yeah,
right.
but there was too many settings.
That was too many. So
Um,
I'm a little bit more rigid, even more than Edward is about not touching the settings because I know how well the trader works if you just let it do its thing.
Yeah.
Uh,
yeah.
but I understand, Ed, you
But I
give
have no
yeah,
manual trades in here, you notice, not one.
yeah,
So I have
yeah,
not clicked those buttons at all. I've never
right.
done a manual trade. You notice we have a health meter at the top, and it actually tells you the status of your trader, and everything is green. So everything is looking good. The auto trader would put warnings up there. If you do a manual trade, you'll actually get a warning, a yellow one. It's informational. It's just informational. It says, we kind of frown against manual trading. Or it'll be a big red X saying, hey, this coin ran out of money completely and there's no money to trade with.
And it's
But
probably a green check mark on BlackRock's. Like, oh, what you did was just helped us out.
That's funny.
wait,
All right, how about
oh
Q&A?
yeah, have you ran out of money? Yeah. Um,
So
so
I know
yeah,
we are running behind, although we're not buried in questions. If you have a question, please put
I
it in the
still have
Q&A.
water.
Yep, please put it in the Q&A. But I also wanted to ask the panel. People seem to gravitate and really like the calculator and scenarios that I run. I also want to would if we have time, if everybody's okay with it,
No, we're out of time. Sorry.
show a smaller account that I started for my nonprofit, specifically when in the scenario of 1010, the big flash crash of last year, October 10th, where it literally just took money. So if you want to see any of that or none of it, let me know. And in the meantime, Attila, if you want to start asking questions, I'm going to use that time in the background for doing some house cleaning.
Yeah,
I'm going to put
sure.
support emails in. So if you've got technical questions, support at gobabytrade.com, or non-technical questions, or if you need help connecting your trader and going live, then you can email us at at rctmarketingsystems.com. I'm also going to repost, as you were talking, I posted it and didn't announce it. Casey's exclusive discount link. That doesn't obligate you to buy, but it does obligate you to do your own research, and that's where you can find all the links. The high trade count, the top 50 traders, frequently asked questions. So that's a good one. If
Oh, we didn't even go into that highest trade count report.
No, 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 we didn't. No, we didn't. But we also have a community that Ed, a private community. People asked us, "Hey, do you have Discord and Telegram and this and that and the other?" We chose to launch a private community that you can join for free. We are all a part of it, so you can ask questions. We are putting out a weekly market report that Anthony has always commented and said it's extraordinarily valuable. You get a lot of value, plus you get to interconnect with people, particularly if you've got more questions, if you don't already own the trader, or if you do, then share your successes. And the last thing I will share with you is our YouTube channel, that where you can find the replays in case Zoom goofs up, as it often does, and does not send you the replay. The replay will be up on our YouTube channel. And selfish plug, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification button, and it will, just like Casey does with all of her videos, and you better be subscribed and hit the notification button on hers so that you can keep up with the latest data. So uh, with that, I'm going to turn it over to you, Attila. I do want Casey's comment towards the end about what you and I, Attila, talked about yesterday, the big SEC announcement, which everybody should be paying attention to, which is a very positive thing in the market.
Okay,
So
excellent. Thank you.
good.
So Ken is asking you, Ed, the Go Baby Trade system works great, but the crypto market has gone down, down, down until I have no more money to buy at these lower levels. In your bucket in the well analogy, the water level, my money, is below the length down the bucket will reach, which is market prices. Is there any remedy except for prices to rise?
You mean that's a fictitious question, right? If that's a
No,
hypothetical, not his
No,
own
he's
trader could not be at the bottom.
yeah. He's saying until I have no more money to buy at these.
Well,
Ken,
that's
can you elaborate on whether or not your trader has used all your money? Is that what you're insinuating? Because if so, that's like nearly impossible based on the money
yeah.
management.
yeah, and you just put a yes or no. You don't have to put it in the Q&A. Just put a yes or no in the chat, and then we can
Because
address it.
it's an easy remedy, I mean, if that really happened to you, send email to support@gobabytrade.com, and I will literally walk through the screen with you and reestablish the shares. Because if you put all, maybe you did something where you put all the money in up here and literally ran out of money down there because you changed the settings, because the settings are designed pretty much to take you all the way pretty much to the bottom.
That's right, and
And
that's why
you
we.
didn't get in this market for, if you weren't running an auto trader for 4 years, were you? Because you would have had to be in 4 years ago, 5 years ago even, to get in all the way up here to be all the way at the bottom. Because if you got in here, then you're not at the bottom. You've
Yep, he
only
put
gone
no
to
in
the
the
bottom. The
Q&A.
market hasn't dropped 90% in the last year.
Right.
Okay.
He acknowledged he put no in the
Oh,
Q&A.
all right. Thank
Yeah,
you.
sometimes, and we apologize, sometimes it's hard to interpret exactly what somebody means in the questions.
Yeah. And
Okay,
there's somebody's got their hand up there, I see.
well, we'll get to that, but first let's go through the Q&A because we asked people to put the questions in the Q&A, but if somebody wants to come on live, we can invite them in. So
Yeah.
Patrick Jenkins, two questions for Ed. Number one, if the account value is something we shouldn't be looking at, why is it at the top? Question two,
People want to see it.
yeah. I don't think
Just
it's so much
it's a
about.
again, when I say don't be looking at it, don't be looking at it if it's gonna scare you. All right. Because my account value went down from a mil three to 500,000 because, and I've loaded up on all this beautiful inventory, but it's not scaring me. I mean, don't be making that your primary decision maker. Because I hear some people say, "Oh, my account value's down. This thing's not working." I'm like, it is absolutely working.
Yeah,
But
I think
just because the institutions push the prices lower and it lowered your account value, don't let that scare you out of the market. Look at your profits taken. That's what's more important.
And I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I think what you meant is when you said don't look at it, what you meant is don't make an issue out of it because it's not an issue. The issue
Yeah.
is the total profits taken. If you buy Tesla stock here and it goes down, as long as you're still holding it, it doesn't matter. If you look at your account value and your Tesla stock is down 20%. I mean, it matters to you because you wish it would have gone up 20%. But the truth of the matter is you have no loss unless you sell it with that 20% loss,
Yeah, it's
right?
not a bank account where it just disappeared. You are
Right,
holding an asset that
right.
price fluctuates.
Okay, so the second, thank you, Casey.
Yeah. I
On the
don't want to
second,
hide the account value from you. I
yeah.
mean,
And also remember, folks, the account value button includes all the other cryptos you have on Coinbase or Kraken that are not being traded on the trader. Remember that.
Yeah.
and a
Well,
lot of times the auto trader is doing great and the account value is still going down because of some of the other stuff you have in Coinbase.
yeah,
Hmm.
let me give you my two Bitcoin opinion. If you've been in the crypto market for the last 4 years, you you gotta hate the crypto market where it's sitting now because you were simply a buy and holder. And if you on your own continue to buy as the price dropped, then you're still a buy and holder, and your account value, take away the trader. Your account value is down, but it's down until the price goes back into the profits. Huge difference when you own the trader. When you originally get in, as we talked about the money management, it doesn't let you get buried at the top and waiting for some hopium for it to go up to make a profit. It literally wiggles all day long and takes the profit. We usually drive that home when you look at over time. You know, the in your scenario in the account that you showed, Ed. I think that was one that you started with 150,000.
I started with two. That's a
Yeah,
200.
okay, but it doubled the money, but it didn't do it all at once. It did it
Mhm.
to where all of the original positions are below water. So it's illogical for most to be able to interpret and digest the fact that even though it's dropped that much, the fact that it wiggles and you get to play the game wherever the price goes eventually overtakes all the money that you put in, and everything you make, they can never take back from you,
Okay.
right?
Can I ask the second part of Patrick's question now?
Well, he's holding up the smart bottle for a reason.
Yeah, I wanted to say if buy and holders, this is where millions of buy and holders are getting killed. They bought it up here, the price went all the way down here. Now, they can't even break even. They can't even make a penny in the market until it goes all the way back up to where they went in. But because we're constantly buying all the way to the bottom, we're never more than 3% away from taking profits.
Mm-hmm.
So we're
Very
always
well put.
able
Yep.
where
Very
and
well.
that will add up forever. And every time and those profits are real. So profit wise, over time it's eventually going your profits are going to go higher and higher until they exceed what you put in, even though the market is still sitting at the bottom.
Right.
Okay, so the second part of Patrick's question is, I just read it and come on, Patrick, you know that Ed Barsano only listens and implements what Casey asks for.
If
Anyway,
he
Here it
asks you for
comes.
something,
anyway,
you're
Hey,
not getting
Wait, so
it.
what
let
did Patrick ask for?
yeah, well, let me ask it for Patrick, and that way he'll never get it.
yeah, on the trader open positions. Maybe you can make an enhancement at Barsano to show what the potential profit would be based on the target sell price. That would be a nice feature, in my opinion. Thank you. But how do we know what the sell price is? What if the AI kicks in and the sell price would have been 5%, but AI kicks in and it's 10% higher, right?
Well,
True.
we put what it is without the AI, and then the AI is just a bonus.
Right.
If it says hold it, but the problem is, well, I don't want to say the problem. What you're looking at on the main screen is all your positions, are all your shares of that coin, all your individual lots. Isn't it? So I don't see how to put a number there. We have to talk about
You could contact Ed
analytics.
Barsano on that directly. I mean,
You can always shoot me an email.
you could
Just
contact
yeah,
corporate support at gobabytrade.com.
just preface it. Casey asked for this. This is what she asked for. I'm just communicating for
It
her.
sounds like you need a little crystal ball emoticon next to it, though. It's like this maybe is
Yeah,
what you'll get.
that's what. Yeah, and an animation of a crystal ball. This is what we're forecasting.
Okay, Michael has I think one question, but there's two parts. So he says, looking at this is a little confusing now. Looking at the top traders, it would seem a low percentage entry and sell percentage allows the auto trader to trade more to provide a good ROI. Again, sometimes the way you guys word the questions, it's not easy to answer. Um,
Yeah, it's actually equal, because
well, let
on a
me read the
percentage
second.
Yeah,
basis, a
yeah.
guy with $1 million is going to make the same percentage return as a guy with $1,000. A guy with 1 million is not going to get more trades than a guy with 1,000, but he's putting more money into the trade.
This might
But it's
clarify, the second part of his question might clarify it. He made it two parts. So is it then best to keep profit goal percentage and add on price drops percentage low in this downtrend and then increase it in the uptrend?
So
Well, we
keeping it
haven't
at,
seen an uptrend, so it's hard to say. Um, but I think the default setting is not 5%, Attila. It's 3%. 3% profit goal with a 3% ad.
Oh, I
So three
thought
and
if
three.
somebody buys the license today, I thought it came with a 5% default.
No,
Oh, it doesn't. Oh, okay.
it's
Did it
three.
used to at one point? Because I could swear you said that.
no, we talked about it, but no.
Okay. All right. I stand corrected then. Who did I answer that to? That was to Adrian? Yeah, I think Adrian. Yeah, I put 5% profits would be the new standard setting. My bad. Okay. Um, Bill R. Hey, I have a quick question. When you look at the manual trading screen, it closes a lot of trades. Um, Holy cow, Joe's question is coming up. That's a real, it's interfering. On your screen, Ed, it shows profit and several other details. The only things that I see on my screen are target profit goal and price to go. I really
Oh,
like
you
what
mean
your
when you
features.
expand?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have debug stuff. I have things on my screen that I see that you don't see because it's kind of like, I have to there's a lot more than there's a lot of different fields that I need to know what's in these fields. Like what is the intended entry price and what is the intended means something different than what it would mean for you. Um they're just different names for different
Ah,
things.
Yeah,
yeah,
you have a
that's
developer view. We all have a user view.
correct. Correct. Okay, thanks, Bill. Joe is
And I
asking,
can't put it on everybody's screen, these things. We'll go because it's meaningless, really, to you, some of these
Yeah,
fields.
so what we see is only actionable, usable intel that makes us profit.
right.
Right.
All right. Marvin is asking, I'm completely new to this, so where can I go to get a more thorough understanding of this? You're there. You're
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 there.
there.
there. This is
There's
where.
nothing more thorough than a 2 to 3 hour webinar with the creator, Ed Barsano, on here, and one of your favorite influencers in the crypto world, which is Crypto Casey. So thanks, Marvin. Come on back. Marvin, we're here every Wednesday, 2 p.m. Also, if you go to the YouTube channel that Edward put into the chat a little bit ago, all of the previous weeks, I mean, the last 30 to 40 Zooms we've done are in there. So
Hey,
feel
I
free.
watched the Zoom we did last year, last
Yeah.
night. I
Uh-huh.
just sat there and I watched the whole thing. I
Cool.
mean, it's crazy, man. I sit in front. I don't know what you guys watch on TV. I watch myself.
And also, maybe I think some people it's like hard to conceptualize. All right, if I buy this, then what happens next? I have the Coinbase with the Kraken account, and then connecting it. All
Yeah.
that I think I have on a couple videos on my channel too,
Yep.
where it's like you see exactly what happens, and then how you choose everything, and then
Yep.
Well,
because we don't really go through that on these.
we
So
have
it's
You
the
like
did a
it.
video.
wonderful job on your videos,
Thanks. Yeah, that might be
Casey.
just the little link that people like can't really. All right, cool. I like what I see, but how does this? What's my
Case,
actionable steps?
well, Casey, it's on, if you go to gobabytrade.com/, crypto Casey, on the top, there's a category that says videos. And I
Okay.
actually have a video that I record a person going live into Coinbase, connecting their API and one into Kraken. So they could
Yeah,
watch
perfect.
that.
So that's
Yep.
probably what they need.
Yes. Yes.
Well, I'll go one further. Let me post that which you just spoke of, but I'll go one further. If this is something that you believe you would benefit from, then you're part of a community, and I think you can ask anybody. I did put the community link up. I'll put that in again, or you can ask people in the chat. We are here to provide as much help as you want. If you go, hey, I'm really interested in this, but I would like to have some maybe one-on-one, or I want to buy the trader. How do I know how to hook it up? Yes, there's all the automation that in the frequently asked questions is AI. You can type whatever you want in there, and 1,000 people have asked before. But it's as simple as this: we want to serve you in the highest at the highest level. You can just send an email to Attila and I at support at RCT Marketing Systems, we'll jump on a Zoom with you and we'll take you in the entire success path. That's it. This is not a, we're not in the software sales business. We're in the life-changing business. And as much
Yeah.
help as you need is as much help as we will give you.
That's why we post our our email addresses in the chat.
I
That's,
mean,
I mean,
I've
we
got
don't do
people
it.
have my phone numbers out there. I mean, people call me. I mean, every day. You know, if you call me, you better have 3 hours to kill
Okay.
because
Yeah.
I'm not getting you off the phone until we talk about the
So,
border, the vaccines, the war.
so Joe has two questions we got to get
And
to this.
how's your marriage? We'll talk. I'll fix that too. Just
So Joe Tate, Casey does not answer questions on the FI4U site because he's asking that.
Wait a
So
minute. Hold up. What on what FI4U site? In the community?
it just says FI4U site. So he's got to clarify. He says,
Oh, okay.
I asked Casey a question last week, Thursday, and would have wanted to hear back.
Is his
Uh,
name Ben?
no, Joe Tate,
I have
T-A-I-T.
one from Anthony and one from Ben on here.
Okay.
Uh,
So
like is it in chat? Like I'm in the chat.
No, no, no. He's talking about the our private community.
I'm in it right now.
Yep.
So on my chat, I have a question from Anthony and from Ben.
Oh, yeah, yeah, right. So clarification. If you want to ask any one of us individually questions, use the chat. If you post it as a post in the community,
Oh, if it
it
was a
may get
post, I probably didn't see it.
it may get passed over. So thank
okay.
you, because that is a clarification that we should have made from the beginning.
Uh,
If you want us to individually respond, then please do it as a direct chat versus just a post.
you know what I
I'm
think
gonna
is absolutely amazing is that we give everybody access to the creator, the creator of the software. You got access to Crypto Casey, which is gold. Man, people, there's talk about the holy grail. This
yeah,
system is really seriously. We leave nobody hanging.
No.
We
yeah.
leave
And then
nobody hanging, and we help so many people that a lot of clients know zero
yeah.
about cryptos, zero, and they're just hey, they're no different than a guy sitting there with $1.5 million in his auto trader. They're gonna crank out the same number of trades, and there's no mystery here.
It
Nobody
was
has an
funny.
advantage over anyone.
Ben's on the chat right now, like because I just opened it up whenever you had the link, Edward. So sorry,
Yes.
Ben, I hadn't read it since Thursday, but
yeah, well,
I
this
will
is
get back to
Joe.
you unless you want
Yep.
me to read it here.
Yep.
So one thing I've got to say, I've got a hard stop in about 5 minutes, so I'm gonna have to leave. I've got a prior commitment, but I will read this long question of Joe's first so that Ed, you could answer this. So it says, it says, Hi Casey, I asked last week regarding your November 25th video. It seems to me that we need to distinguish between metrics that increase volatility, which are beneficial for the trader, not so beneficial for hodlers, and metrics which are fundamental weaknesses of the coins. If the coin has no active community and no developer input, very little demand, is nano cap, and it's very possible that the developer has dumped their holdings and exited, surely these are problems for coins on the trader as well. I put your coin research metrics into AI and asked it to do a research on the coins that I'm trading. This sounds like somebody I know.
It's Benzie.
It's Benji. Benji, you tricky rabbit. You tricky rabbit.
We've been communicating in the background.
So anyway, he says, I put your coin research metrics into AI and asked it to do research on the coins that I'm trading. SPA, SWIFT, AIOZ, Math rated very poorly. GRT, ACH, SUI, Bonk looked far healthier. My coins are way down from the initial investment. I'm comfortable with the ones that seem to have healthy fundamentals, but not so comfortable with the ones that rate very poorly on the fundamentals and may be bleeding out. Do you agree with my assessment? If so, what do you do? If so, what to do with coins on my trader that may be bleeding out? Do you expect even these to recover? Thanks.
I absolutely agree with you because, like I said, whenever I got it, well, I don't think I talked about it on this particular webinar, but whenever I got into the trader, I used it for about 8 months and then told them that I was using it, you know, tested everything out. Whenever I put mine in, I wanted the coins with the most volatility at the time, which was this was like 2.5 years ago. So it was Math, Near, Prime, um, two other ones that were low liquidity, but the narrative at the time for gaming and for AI was really AIOZ was on one of them. I think AIOZ is doing all right now. But yeah, those did not do, they did really well whenever it was popping and it was a hot little narrative. Now, whenever I tell people, whatever coins you want to do with the trader, do with what he's been using, which is GRT, Alchemy Pay. I'd say I need to do a video about metrics that would probably work well with the trader versus like doing short-term trading, which is like a losing game at this point, definitely since the big institutions have been here. Definitely not Bitcoin or ETH.
Yeah.
Like between the top 10, not top 10, but like 20 to 50 range of, so there's liquidity, there are people trading it, they are actually probably producing some kind of value, or if they're a Doge, there's some kind of cultural, like stick to the man social movement aspect to the value. Yeah, so definitely the bleeding out stuff I experienced with like math and some of the things you mentioned. And that's why, yeah, he already figured it out before I did, and I definitely messed around just to try to, I like to experiment with things. That's part of the job with the YouTube stuff. I want to make sure people get information that will be useful. And
Yeah.
I do talk about the stuff that I trade on here whenever I did a couple, like a year ago, talked about it. And yeah, stick with his stuff. That
Well,
narrative was cool for a minute and it wasn't, and that's just the way that it is.
if you remember, Edward, when we spoke to Benzie, he agreed that he did start with way too many coins to begin with.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
absolutely. And yeah, a very, very intelligent question and observation and research.
yeah,
So I mean, my opinion is that even if it's a coin that's bleeding out, there's a lot of people that still have it. And when we hit a northbound train, meaning an uptrend, I think even not to the 10 100x or 1000x, but I believe that everybody's going to get drug along in a north market because it's never seen it, right? And if they're still contributing to the marketplace, they may not be the best train now, but I think that there's still an opportunity for profit.
Yeah, and then I think you kind of touched on what we are going to talk about with the SEC and everything. So historically, midterm election years, which this year are really bad for Bitcoin and the crypto market, we're actually mirroring exactly the 2022 right now, which means
Mhm.
we probably like are a little bit high and we're probably due for another drop before coming back. But this time around, when this bull cycle flips into the bullish trend, we have, oh my God, my cat is crazy. My cats are like hungry. They're like swarming like sharks right now. Anyways, the market's going to do that better because we have a lot of regulatory clarity this time around.
Yep.
United States we don't have any of the barriers to entry, and we have big institutional money. This will be a completely different bull market, and it always comes back around.
Yep.
This time
Yep.
it's
Yep.
gonna be great. I mean, we're still gonna go like this, but I think there's
Yeah.
more money, so you have more volume,
Yep.
more liquidity.
The term bleeding out is concerns me because
yeah,
you could say I'm bleeding out on GRT,
yeah,
you know, just because it's at a low doesn't mean that's good. That's in the long run, that's great. You're able to buy at the very, very bottom. Now you had inventory, so you're upset that the price is all the way at the bottom, but that's where you want it to be. That's gold. And there's nowhere for the coin to go unless you're worried about the coin going out of business. That's another ballgame. But we didn't have this highest trade count report 3, 4 years ago. where it shows you the coins. This is what I care about more than anything I could read on the internet, because I don't care if I like Monster drinks in the 7-Eleven. I don't drink them, but if I'm running a 7-Eleven, they're the number one seller. So if they're up here, the previous year's closed trades, the highest trades closed, I want that in my 7-Eleven. I don't care if they sell cigarettes. I don't smoke, but if I'm running a 7-Eleven, I'm going to sell cigarettes. Why? Because you sell a lot of them.
Right.
This
SPA's
is
the
what I
same
care about.
position.
This report was actually generated for use by the auto trader, how the auto trader would benefit from it specifically. That ChatGPT stuff is very general. And it's not looking, like I said, if you said show me the top 50 bots, it's going to go out there and it's going to find all these bots that have all these different drop down menus and things you could do. And it's like, hey, that's all fine and dandy if you're there to play. I'm here to make money. I don't need all those screens. And so I'm just saying this report is what I use. Now, why don't these coins here are not necessarily at the top. I added Swift. It is at the top because it came from this report. I got it right here. It's the number 2 coin. But I added that later. I didn't start with it. The first 4 are the ones that I added just because they're good coins, based on what I would read on the internet. And the only thing is, they may not be the top movers now, but there's a lot of value in what I call a well-seasoned auto trader. I've got a lot of inventory now. Inventory that wasn't all bought at the top, but it was actually spread out from the top all the way to the bottom. So the coin can never move, in my case, 5%, but in most people's traders are set to 3. It can never move 3%. I don't care where it goes. It can never go up 3% from
Did you tell
wherever
them
it's
the
at.
analogy of if you have a 7-Eleven with one bag of potato chips and then one day a field trip comes by and then there's 50 kids getting off
Yeah,
a bus? You did?
yeah.
Okay.
No, I didn't. But here's
Oh,
what
because yeah, I walked
typical
away a couple
Casey is
times.
saying. You like that story?
No, it makes a lot of sense, I think, to people
It's
because
logical. It's totally logical.
yeah,
If
but you
you
don't, well, you
only
wouldn't
have
think
one
about it like that until you have that scenario in your head.
If you
Yeah.
only have one bag of potato chips on your shelf in your 7-Eleven and a school bus pulls in, you're only going to sell one bag of potato chips, plain and simple. But a well-seasoned auto trader, you see all that inventory? If you have 25 bags of potato chips on that shelf and a school bus pulls in, you're going to sell a lot more bags of potato chips. And when I say the school bus, I'm talking about the price of the coin jumps. That coin jumps 20%, I've got inventory to sell. Whereas that's why I always say new people, that some of you who aren't, and I'm not being a salesman here, but anyone who is on this webinar and doesn't own an auto trader, you'd either you get an auto trader or you get a therapist. You figure out which one you want. Because you gotta because if you're
Awesome.
not getting an auto trader, that every day you don't have an auto trader, you're not building inventory and you're not taking profits. Free
Right.
money.
Yeah.
And that's it. Every day that you wait is another day. You didn't just take free money and you didn't allow your auto trader to prep. The auto trader is playing the long game. So like Ben said, he's saying the coin's bleeding out. It's building inventory. It's doing it strategically. So you're saying it's built a lot. How many lots does it have? That's all I care about, because I know those lots were bought strategically spaced apart so
Yep.
that to trap them, you've always got the market trapped for the rest of your life. The coin can never jump without you like selling a bunch of inventory off at once. You're either selling a slow one or you might have a big jump, like ACH went up 5 days in a row. It went up 100 or 200%. It sold off tens of thousands of dollars of profits
Yep. Yep.
on a
And
fund that you might say was in the gutter.
having had conversations with our friend, he's highly intelligent and highly technical, and I think most of the questioning is from technical comparisons of strong high volatile high market cap coins. But still, fundamentally, if Doge, which is made of nothing, can go up and down as Casey talked about the cultural piece of the puzzle, that most people that are in the crypto market have gotten in the last 5 years, and they're tainted, as I said before, because they're buy and holders and believing the prognostication and all of the hopium dealers out in the YouTube sphere. The difference, I'll make a clear distinction. Casey, the reason why I love her and everybody else loves her is because she presents factual information. It's not, oh, I think. It's, this is what's happening in the marketplace. So in the last 5 years, like I said before, you got to be hating. If you're just a buy and holder, you're really not whiz banged when somebody says crypto to you. You're like, well, this is one of the only opportunities. And I honestly don't know. And I'm speaking from my heart, from what Mr. Barsano has created, in what it's doing for me and my family and the legacy that I get to leave. I mean, there's a lot of people out there, of the 92% that don't really know. They've heard of crypto, but they don't know how to benefit from it, and they don't know how to navigate it without losing money. There's a lot of people out there that crave the information that Casey is putting out, and are looking for a non-scam avenue to really be able to leverage, and as Attilla, and he had to run, but to dip their hand in the crypto and decentralized finance jar and actually take advantage of it and have more money at the end of the month than most people are in a scenario of having more month at the end of their money. It simply just works. But Ed's commented, and we've talked about it lots and lots of times, about people are programmed into a system that your generation, your parents' generation, and their generation were programmed into the idea that 1 or 2% earnings on your hard-earned money is acceptable, which is the fiat system. But I can tell you, if you're not making 20% on your money, you're just getting poorer really slowly. You're bleeding out, right? And then you enter Go Baby Trade, where you don't have to worry, you don't have to think, you don't have to gamble. Ed Barsano and his team for the last 26 years has figured it all out for you. You don't have to change anything. You don't have to play the game. Think of it this way. Let me take a right-hand turn on you. Who out there is an entrepreneur? I guarantee you that everybody on this masterclass is an entrepreneur. Haven't you ever thought about exiting your 9 to 5 with something? Hey, I got this idea. I want to start my own business. I want to own a 7-Eleven. Have you ever done that? Everybody on this, and most of the people on the planet, think that way. Guess what? Look at Go Baby Trade through the lens of being a business for you. You don't have unlike a 7-Eleven, you don't have all of the overhead, all of the unreliable people, all the safety and security issues, but you have a business that you can start for less than $5,000 and start with $500 and deposit. And I'll show you a screenshot, and we'll build a scenario together just based on a very conservative approach. You have now a business that simply is going to pay you forever, for a lifetime, if you decide to unlock the door and unlock the possibility. You don't even have to get out of bed to go to your 7-Eleven to unlock the door. You don't have to worry about people walking in and out. As long as, and Crypto Casey puts it on our videos all the time, as long as as you believe that the price of the crypto market is going to go up and down, you're going to profit from it, period. So look through the lens of the opportunity of this as your own side business with no risk. If somebody came to you and asked this question, how about if I gave you an opportunity where you virtually, unless you goof it up with your emotions or somehow put bad decision into it, what if I told you could start a business for under $5,000 that simply made you money for a lifetime? How many people would say yes? I mean, I'll jump off the soapbox in a second, but once you understand that you have to look at it from, do you believe that you are prospering in the current financial system? If anybody says yes, then I'll default to Ed Barsano's.
Well, the
You
opportunity,
need
you don't
you
have to
need
open up a
right,
franchise or anything.
no,
You go out there and spend all that money and buy a job.
right,
Basically,
right,
if you buy if you buy a, what are they, cr- like Dairy Queen or something. If you
right.
bought a franchise to do that, and then you got to go to work.
No,
It's
true.
the same
That's a
thing,
great point. That's a great
here it
point.
is. You're running the same business right
And to
here
get from
without
the
having to
red to
do
the
anything.
black is usually like a 5 year sprint.
Oh, and
Fun.
that to use Crypto Casey's example, that's a scam. That if you yes, you want to own your own business, but guess what? All of the employees are counting on you to get paid. You don't sleep. You think you
Probably
work 40,
renting the land.
right?
You don't own any of it.
40, 50 hours that you think you're investing and trying to dig out of a hole when you're working for somebody else. When you become an entrepreneur, the great myth is the fact that normally if you started a business, a Dairy Queen and a 7-Eleven, whatever, is you're working double or triple the hours, but you have all of the pain and suffering as well and all of the risk. There's
And you have to buy all your product from them.
right, right.
I know one guy owned a I can't remember the name of it. It was like a that ice cream place where they take the ice cream and slap it down on the counter there and start playing with it, and then they say, "What do you want in it?" and all that.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's the something creamery. I know what you're
I
talking
know.
about.
That's why
Right.
I'm losing it
Right.
too.
Oh,
I
Cold
Right.
remember
Stone?
going in there. What
Is it
was
Cold
it?
Stone?
Cold Stone
Yeah,
Creamery.
that was it. I know a
Yeah,
Bingo.
guy
Kathy
that
got it
bought
too.
one of
Yeah.
those. I know a guy that
Kathy
bought
just put in Gold
Yeah.
Stone.
one of my clients bought one of those. He bought a or he got a, what does he call that? You know,
Cold the
he
Cold
bought
Stone franchise.
yeah, he got the franchise, and he said he found out he could buy the milk cheaper locally, so he bought the milk.
Oh, wow.
He didn't go through them. And then, but based on the receipts that they got, they said, based on these receipts of sales, you had to use this much milk, but you didn't, and therefore you owe us that much for all that milk.
What? That's crazy.
Wow.
They hammered him.
Wow. Wow.
And then he was in a mall, and the traffic in the mall just really died down. He had a 9 year lease, and he was just losing money left and every month, just losing money. He couldn't get out of all the contracts he was in. It was just the worst. And here you are, you got your own business right here, man.
Yeah.
It just turns inventory. It's doing exactly what those stores and everything do, only it does it automatically.
Yeah.
I should really be charging $25,000 a year for this, really.
I put Crypto Casey on the spot probably 4 or 5 months ago, and I just said, and it wasn't pre-planned. I just said, "Hey, in your opinion, what's it worth?" And that was her
No,
answer.
I said 3,500 for 3 years is very generous.
Yes, yes. Would you mind now that we're talking about a business and to put the fine point on my whole rant and rave about owning your own business without very minimal exposure and risk, without all of the detrimental things that we've been talking about owning your own franchise and you're really not working for yourself you're because you have to give a percentage of all your sales to to the mothership. This is you and only you that can take advantage of it for less than $5,000. And I forgot about what we mentioned it last week, but Mr. Barsano has just approved for you to buy it on other people using other people's money. Well, in the
Oh
checkout,
yeah, I added a
right?
firm.
In the checkout, you can buy it with a credit card, you can buy it with crypto, or you can buy it with other people's money. You can use a firm and pay for it over time. And let me tell you, millionaires and billionaires don't use their own money; they use other people's money. So there's another huge benefit, and people have been asking that for better than a year and a half. But do you guys mind if I share my screen so that somebody can dream about what their cash flow could be?
Okay, let me stop sharing.
Yep. Okay. So I'm going to take you into the calculator that I was talking about
And if
before.
we were thinking about what politicians and like finance people, big boys are doing, they aren't really doing anything. They're literally stealing money from the system. Politicians are stealing money from the system. And meanwhile, we have to feel like we have, I don't, I don't want to say honest living, but they're not making honest living. And this is a very
Right.
interesting thing that lets us do what they're doing, except for in a more virtuous way where we're not actually extorting people.
True. Oh, and by the way,
Yeah.
it's all true. This is not smoke and mirrors. So the scenario that I just talked about, if over the next 10 years you wanted to own your own business and figure out what you can make, so we're going to dream a little bit, right? Here we're starting. This is a simple calculator. I'll put this in the chat so you can dream on your own of what it means. So, but I told you I'd start with $500. So obviously, you're going to make an investment of $3,499, which is regularly $4,400. But because of Casey, the kindness of Casey negotiating with Mr. Barsano, you automatically get $1,000 off. So whether you put it on a credit card or whether you use a firm and pay for it over time, you're using other people's money to start your business. So I promise you, it's literally that easy. So you can set your own budget, but if you put $500 in and say you're paying a couple $100 a month for the trader, you're not having to take all of that on yourself. $500 in a trader. I use a 9-year scenario, which 9 years is going to pass whether you do it or not, but it turns into significant money. At 50%, it's never operated less than. Now, there's no guarantees going forward, but if it only made 2% a month, and if you've been watching the chat, some people have put their testimonial and what they're actually making, unprompted by us. If it only made 2% a month, that's 24% a year. Where are you going to get that kind of return? So let's just assume I'm going to put in there 50%, which is about half of what its run rate has been over the last 4 years of when it's been. It was released in April of 2021. And in Ed's case, his original trader over that period of time in a 90% down market is 5x his money. So with those numbers, in a crappy market, wait till there's a bull market. 50% is not outrageous. Without context, it probably is. So $500, 9 years, 50% return. You just let it run. You don't touch it. You don't change the settings. You don't manually trade, and you decide that this is the world's best savings account. Again, where you're going to make 24% or better a year. You decide that, okay, I'm going to put another $250 in. I've already run the results. In 9 years, you turned $27,000, which was your original investment over time with the 250 into $291,000. Now, what happens, Ed, when people buy this trader? They see how well it works over time, and I'll answer the question for you, and you can give your 2 cents. That they eventually go, wait a minute, this really does work, and it works better than what they're talking about. That they look for areas in their life where they can sell stuff on eBay or liquidate or whatever, that they put more money in the market. Okay, so what if you added a zero to this, and you said 5,000, and I'm still going to put $250 a month? Watch the number. It doubles.
No, that's 432,000. It more
Right.
than doubles.
Well, doubled what the, sorry, I was looking at the top number, which was taken into consideration what they started with, sorry, what they've added to it over time of the $250 a month, and then what they've actually made. This is
I
actually
think
your return number, right?
no, wait a minute. Go back and change that up at the top. Oh yeah, times take away the zero. Make it 5,000. You said how much did you say before? 500?
Yes,
All right, now click
right.
calculate.
500,
Now
right?
calculate.
Right. It's $291,000.
Okay.
If $500 start, obviously you're investing in the tool, but paying over time at 50% return, and you're going, wow, this is kind of cool. I can put $250 in it, right?
Is it compounding? Is that compound annual?
That is compounding annually because
Oh.
that's a
I
more
see.
right. That's a more
Change that 500 to compound monthly.
well, see, see, I would normally do that, but I'll do it. I'll do it at your request.
That'd be crazy.
Annually is
But that's
a
how it works, kind of.
right. It
Yeah,
does.
because it's real time. It's not
No,
waiting around for a
I
year.
get it, but people are going to fall off their seats when they see what that number does. So
Well, I
500.
want to see. I'm curious.
All right. You want to compound it monthly, quarterly, or
Well,
semi-annually?
50% monthly. Okay. I know.
No,
Well,
just the compounding is okay.
Okay. So that's the
No,
real
you didn't
result.
put monthly.
but
So
50% monthly?
so let
No,
okay,
just
okay.
compounding monthly.
Okay. So
That's
But
taking
at
the
what rate?
profits
But
and
at what
rolling them
rate?
back in.
so we'll change this to the scenario of let's say it's
No,
only
the compounding is monthly. The 50% is annual.
right. No,
This
no,
is
no.
not a sophisticated calculator.
No, it's
Oh,
not. So the
So
return
what would that
rate
be?
oh,
That would
really?
be
is annual. But let's just say
50
it
divided
comp
by 12 is would that be? I'm not really great at math,
well,
guys.
Let's just
if
say
you
2% then.
right, if you
Okay,
just do
monthly.
this, if the rate you're compounding is 2% monthly, it still comes out to an astronomical number.
No.
500.
Hold
No,
on.
Sorry.
you lowered the rate of return from
Oh,
9.
yep. Sorry.
All right.
Well, 50%
There you go.
monthly is still kind of high.
Yeah,
No,
now you're
50.
talking
Right.
500,000.
Right. But it's not calculating this. You're right. It's not a sophisticated calculator. So it's not actually compounding at 50% monthly. So you guys are messing my scenario
Now put a 0 on there.
I didn't say he did.
up. Okay. There you
All right,
go.
now wait, before you change anything, click calculate. Let's just look at it.
I think you already did.
No,
Yep.
now it's 865,000. Okay.
Right.
Now you can change that back to annual.
Okay.
Well, 50% every month.
But
No, now it's
it is
annual.
breaking that 50% to an annual number. So it's this divided by 1/12.
Okay.
So this is a much easier, cleaner view that it's
In any case, this is blowing away any other investment in existence.
well, and it's taking away all the risk. There's that part because
Well, anybody that could actually conquer the market, do you realize the magnitude of this?
Yep.
I mean, we're splitting hairs here.
Well,
You know,
let's
we're
just let me give you an actual scenario. So can everybody see my screen now?
Yes.
yes,
Is it showing my trader?
yes.
Okay. All right. So here's the real scenario I'm going to show you next, and then I'll put the calculator in so you guys can play with whatever you think your returns are going to be. All of them are convincing. So I started this back on 9/11. I came out of 32 years as a federal agent, and so came out and I started a nonprofit that to put some of the reserves of the donations that we receive into the nonprofit called the Gratitude Professor Foundation, right at the top. Uh, I'm the founder and CEO. So we take a part of our reserves. I took $15,000 and started the trader back 9/11 of 2025 to love on American heroes. And so instead of it sitting in the bank earning 0.01% a year, it's now that money is now working for me, which reporting to our donators is a fantastic message because we're taking their generosity of a nickel or a dollar and we're putting it to the highest best use. It's made in that short a time $2,600 in profit in a 50% down market since I started this, right? So let's go back to the calculator and let's run that scenario. $15,000 over 9 years. And by the way, that actually is running at a rate of 62.7% real returns in a down market. So we add $500 a month. Look at that number. Now, I'm not saying go out and start a nonprofit, but 2.15 million are really what you've actually made. You've put in $15,000. You've additionally added an additional $500 a month, and your number through the power of compounding. I call Ed Barsano the modern day Einstein, but Einstein said the eighth wonder of the world is compound interest. Either you're making it or paying it. Last illustration. So let's say you've gone into, okay, I no longer want to contribute $500 a month. I'm going to go into the passive earning retirement mode, and I'm going to take this 2 million, which is, by the way, the max that you can trade in a single trader. That doesn't mean you can't buy another one. But you're going to go buy your favorite sports car for $151,000. I don't care what you do with the money. Okay. So let's move this. This is 2 million. Is that enough zeros? One more. And then you go, okay, I'm going to live off the returns. I drop this down to 50%. I'm no longer contributing any money. Creates $1 million a year passively. That is, I know I should have this on the top of my head, but let me know if you can squeak by on a monthly basis with a passive income of $83,334 a month passively on an original investment of $15,000 plus the cost of the trader. Over time, you will have long paid for it, and a conservative interest rate of return in a scenario right now that it's never seen a bull market.
Now you know why the clients that I have that have over $1 million in their accounts are loving it.
Yeah, well, I mean, numbers don't lie. So we got a couple more questions that we'll cover, and thank you for staying with us. So Ed, the X number, this is by David, X number of lots allowed to buy per day. Is that a 24-hour period or a calendar day starting at 12 a.m.?
At midnight, yeah.
Midnight Eastern. All numbers in the system are Eastern. That's what I thought.
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. And the last question we have currently is Adrian. Is the declining and advancing price buys option removed? I cannot find it in the settings. Is it?
What is it? What's it
is
called?
It, well, the ad. I'm assuming adding on the decliners or advances. So let me share my trader again, and I'll show you where to find it. Okay. Can you see my trader?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
So you're going to go to select currency screen.
Yep. There you go. Add as prices decline. So they're available, but add the logic behind why this one's no longer automatically checked.
You don't need that one checked as long as you have allow sells checked. If you uncheck allow sell, then you need to click add as price advances.
So that becomes in that scenario, if you do that becomes a dollar cost averaging machine.
Right. Why don't you go ahead and do it? You're not going to save, so it's okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
Just on one of them, just the top one.
No, so that must be new because that's interesting because before it was just allow buy, allow sell, and if you didn't allow sell, then so now do you?
And then you did it, Crypto Casey. You're the one.
That's another one you asked for.
No, it's funny. So what happens if you uncheck allow sell, but oh, I see. Now it's split up. Add as price declines. Oh, okay.
So uncheck allow sell. And now the problem there is if you're buying Bitcoin, if you bought it at 70 and it goes to 72, you won't be able to add because it went up and not down. So therefore you have to check add as price advances. So click the middle one.
Yeah, so my layman interpretation, if you only have this one checked, and it will only add to your position or dollar cost average if it drops below your original purchase.
Right. Okay. But if the price is going higher, you won't be able to add because it's not declining, it's advancing.
So correct. If you're creating a dollar cost average and it doesn't go down anymore, then you still want that checked, depending.
That is correct.
That's cool.
So this came about, let me say it for Mr. Barsano. This came about because of one of your earlier questions in the evolution of you using the trader.
Yeah, it was good. Nice.
So let me clarify again. He doesn't listen to us. He listens to you.
So just message me and then we'll get it
That's what I
sorted
said.
out.
Oh, all of our requests, Mr. Barsano, they'll be coming from Crypto Casey.
We don't want to abuse it though.
No. It's all
Thank
in
you.
fun. So hopefully, Adrian, I'm sorry, Adrian. Sorry, mispronounced it. Hopefully that answers your question. So to recap, let me turn it over to Mr. Barsano and then to Crypto Casey. We're going to make some announcements. I'm going to do some homework or housekeeping behind the scenes again. I'm going to repost the links earlier for those people that were late to the show. So there are the email addresses. You're never lost. If you need help, just make an appointment with us or send an email and we will respond. In Mr. Barsano's words, you're never left behind. The second is our community, which we encourage you to join for free. Next is, Crypto Casey's exclusive discount link, if I can get that copied correctly. Okay. And then lastly, where you can find the replay. If for some reason Zoom doesn't send it to you properly, we've been having some challenges with that. You can always go to our channel and there. And then take it away, Mr. Barsano. I should have done this before, but I am going to, which we should always do. Anybody that is not currently following Crypto Casey, then you do need therapy. But to make it easy, I don't know why it's not letting me copy. So sorry for the long pauses, but go like, love, find Crypto Casey, go all the way back to 2017-ish.
Yep,
When you put your
June
first video.
2017.
And literally it gets better and better and better. It was great back then. It was unheard of. Just like the two anomalies on the planet are Crypto Casey. She's been teaching quality information about this marketplace when no one was listening all the way back in 2017. And Mr. Barsano has been teaching how to take free money out of the market since 2001. So
Nice.
So we'll wrap with this, and I'll take the last place because I want to talk about some of the things that you want to make sure that you know for next week. But Casey, take us away.
Thank you guys for spending time with us. I think the market's really interesting. AI is exponentially changing the world. The financial system's undergoing a massive paradigm shift. This thing is a really easy way to be a part of it effortlessly. It's amazing.
That's awesome.
You want to talk
I'll
about
be
how
here next week, and I don't even know what's gonna happen the next 7 days. There's gonna be a lot to talk about. Probably there's gonna be a lot to talk about every 24 hours at this point.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Well, in the last 24 hours, and we forgot to cover this, but I'll bring it up and you can layer it with your words of wisdom. So let me read a post that came out yesterday. Regulations. SEC Chair Paul Atkins said most crypto assets are not securities.
commodities.
So they're commodities. So what does
Let's
that
go.
mean? So people are talking about, the Not Clear Act or the Clarity Act or
right.
we're fretting about all of that coming out. That's going to happen. That's going to happen. But you know who's holding it up? The Clarity Act is being held up by the people it negatively affects most.
Banks.
Take a guess who that is? Banks. But in the midst of it, this is clarity because it goes on to say the SEC issued broad guidance toward cryptocurrency industry on Tuesday, with Paul Atkins declaring that most crypto assets would not be considered securities. He said in a statement after more than a decade of uncertainty, let me translate that, unclarity. This interpretation will provide market participants with a clear understanding of how the commission treats crypto assets under federal security law. All the bans have been taken off. So if you don't think there's clarity, read up on that, and that's going to be in this coming week's newsletter that we put out. But Casey, what does that mean to you?
That means we have a free reign to do whatever we want now financially, and that scares the
I
banks because they
know.
want to still give us 0.06% interest on money that they lend out for 30% at extreme risk because they don't really care what happens. They always get bailed out. We don't. And also, I'm not sure if you heard this other part. Scott Bessent, U.S. Treasury, he also kind of, played with this concept that the U.S. Treasury could actually circumvent that whole Clarity Act through their own kind of thing. So there's actually multiple points of jurisdiction that we still have a lot of hope and room to work with that will go in our favor. Because at the end of the day, the technology is evolving, it's getting better, and the banks, hey, they had a chance to keep up and to, you know, evolve and they didn't. And now they're late and now they're scared and now they're just trying to throw money that they don't have at a problem that doesn't exist anymore. So
Yep.
it's
Yeah, I
interesting.
agree.
We're ahead of the game.
We are way ahead of the game,
Yeah.
particularly if you own the trader or you're thinking about it. Russell says, so should I pull all my money out of the bank? Yeah. So,
Well, that's your call.
in my humble opinion, don't take anything I
Well, I
say
always
as
answer
advice.
how I think a judge might address that. You told him to put all his money into the
Yeah,
crypto
no, no,
market.
I
My
didn't.
God,
Here's the
you lose.
clarification. I am not giving you
Because
advice.
I don't know how smart the judge will be. But
Well,
let me put it this way: I pulled all my money out of the bank.
yeah, well, yeah, you take that for what it's worth. Or Crypto Casey, here's a great opportunity for somebody to, and I wish I had the link handy, and I'll keep it handy the next time. Tell your story about Uphold and how they can click on your link, get Kathy just literally put Uphold,
Yeah.
how they can
No, so
get a clear advantage.
what's funny, Uphold, I've been using Uphold for probably over 8 years now. They are the next generation of finance because everything that the banks are trying to lobby against going through with the Clarity Act is everything that will turn their business model pretty much mute. So they make money from giving our money away, lending it out, and they make money from exorbitant extortionist fees on maintenance, account closer, ATM, not having enough balance, whatever. So with Uphold and the next generation of finance, which will take them over if they don't change, is it will be completely 100% backed with assets like treasuries with actual cash with the actual crypto. And they don't charge you fees because guess what? It's on this like really clean blockchain technology that they don't need middlemen. There's no like they're charging fees. Sure, there's some stuff that they need to pay for, but not really anymore with what's out there. I mean, it's just they're just trying to hold back new tech because they will not be in business anymore.
The banks.
Yes,
The banks.
the banks.
Talk about this.
They don't hold money and they charge us fees and they get bailed out and I don't understand. Like it's crazy.
Well,
People
it's
put their money in
but
there.
people can actually. Do you have your link that people can get a discount by applying for Uphold? Can you
You
so
don't even have
and
to
then
apply. It's just like really straightforward. I'll try to.
well
I
you yeah you should
paste it in
have
the
a
thing.
you
Yeah.
should have a link. And what I'm holding up is thanks to Crypto Casey.
Oh yeah, I got mine
I
the other day too.
Yep, I
They
run all my
finally have it rolled out.
direct deposit in, and then I spend it. This is my debit card. This is the one that for Ed Barsano. This is the one that keeps on giving. But what does it keep giving me? It gives me up to 10% in XRP, which then you can convert to whatever Bitcoin,
Bitcoin, whatever. Yeah.
right, and then have your asset free. Oh, that's more free money, and have your asset grow. There you go. Casey just put in the um,
No, it's funny. It's like you can trade, sell. You use it like a bank account. In bank accounts, they only insure you up to 250,000. This is 2.5 million because they're actually backed. I mean, there's so many things that are interesting, and I don't like to sell stuff. I like just people to do what will help you, and not
yep.
do what you think is just normal. Because what's normal is not It's not
Normal.
helpful.
It's
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 like
abnormal.
a
not.
scam, and I hate
It's
to
a
say it
scam.
because
Yeah.
everybody's selling you stuff that is terrible, and I just want people to be aware. Because look, Uphold's not going to have a billboard in your local city. They're not going to put an ad on the Super Bowl. You're not going to see it. All the stuff you see out there every day is the stuff that's usually bad for you, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me refine this message for Uphold. Thank you for putting that in there. That's excellent for everybody. Everybody should have an Uphold account. I'm shifting all of my business accounts and all of my personal accounts to run every piece of income through that, and then all my expenses out of that, because it operates just like a regular bank, but it's 1,000 times better. So let me make that make sense. What if you could make a percentage back and they pay you in XRP, and then you just converted that XRP to whatever you want? But let's just say you converted it to USDC, and you put that USDC in your Coinbase account, free money that goes into the trader that makes more free money.
It's like a free couple $100 every month that you don't have to mess with, and it just keeps growing.
Yep.
Crazy.
Yep.
It's-
Pretty
And
pretty
people
cool.
can't believe it because that's what they do, but they're legally allowed to do it, and we didn't know that it was possible until now.
Right. Right. True. Yeah, that's it's amazing. So we're always looking to provide extraordinary value, and there is nobody more valuable on the planet than these two kind souls, because and I'll kind of throw my both Attila and I in the ring, is that we're looking to always serve you at the highest level. And this is stuff that no one's going to teach you. No one from an institution. And I guarantee you that 90% and Miss Masters in finance can attribute to is that even the institutions that you pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to are not going to teach you this. Why? Why? Because they were taught by the scammers that don't want to tell you the truth about how your money really works. 95% of everything that you know, this hit me hard because I've been in finance all my life as well. 95% of everything you know about finance is wrong.
Right.
On purpose.
On purpose. On purpose. So I took us down a rabbit hole. My apologies, but always looking to add value. Casey, your birthday's coming up
Yep.
on the 25th. How can people send you money? I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No,
How?
don't.
It's,
I think you should just make your own money and we can all live happily ever after. I
all
don't
right.
need
Take the money that you would send her and buy
and
the
give it to
trader, or
yourself and
or
tell
put more
other
money.
people about the scams.
Put more money in your trader to make more money. But Casey, it has been uh, you can see I'm smiling like a Cheshire cat for ear to ear. You've joined us but so generous with your time for the last 3 weeks, and we're going to have a big birthday bash for you on the 25th. Some of the things that you don't want to miss is, don't miss the opportunity to bring your friends next week, and we'll give you a way to identify, hey, if you invite Bill Smith, how do we know Bill Smith was invited by you? So because if you do and they participate and purchase the trader, we will send you a referral fee. We'll announce that next week, but know that it's going to be generous, just for opening your mouth and telling people about how great an opportunity this is. And don't tell anybody it's great if you haven't experienced it, but experience first. We're gonna also do giveaways. We have an announcement of coming of another collaboration that we have with Crypto KC, and it involves Mr. Barsano. He may not know in detail what it is yet, but it's going to be good for everybody. You're gonna hear and learn and do stuff next week that we don't normally do every week. There's going to be raffles and giveaways and all kinds of things. So whatever you do, don't miss it. And whatever you don't do, spread to everybody else, or don't not spread the word. I didn't say that right to begin with. So I'm going to go back to Crypto Casey. to say one final word, and maybe it's be safe out there, right?
It was be safe out there. That's the last final part.
All right,
Yeah, I
and
mean, so yeah, thanks for hanging out with us again. We'll need to, announce all the stuff for next week, the 25th. Um,
so
we can go
Crypto
there.
Casey asked us to involve you. So it's kind of the other way around. So instead of us asking you and you saying no to me, Casey's going to ask you, and then now she's just going to surprise you, even though it's her birthday. So, Mr. Barsano, what would
I
you like
have
to say?
nothing more to say.
Yeah, not what?
That'll be
What?
the day. That'll be
What?
the day.
What?
When I go to a bank, they always say, "Hi, how are you? Good morning, how are you?" I always go, "Hey, crypto's up, I'm up." And just like that, nice and loud. And then I look and I kind of glance around and I see everybody in the bank's looking, so they don't like me in the bank.
No.
Yeah, Uphold, Crypto Casey should call Uphold and tell them to ask Go Baby Trade to connect to their API.
No, I know. And so, you know who I deal with.
I would do it
So yes, Michael, I have Michael back on board again, and hopefully we can get something. They're really, really regulatory. They're like a really clean cut. They like to do stuff the right
Yeah.
way. And so it will take a little bit of time for them to probably entertain something like that because I don't know, they're
Yeah.
just, the
That's cool. No, I
yeah,
know.
I don't know why they have their API so locked down. It seems like a little
Yeah.
unusual. But like I said,
Hey, if they want us, we're here.
yeah, that'll be the most awesome thing actually. And we've been talking about it a couple of years now.
Because I've
Us.
turned down a lot of others that want me to connect.
Yeah. And
Other
I like
exchanges.
Uphold the best because, you know, they are a lot different, but well, part of that difference, I guess, is a little bit exclusivity. I'll try to
Yeah,
figure
well, it may also be that they're waiting for a little bit more clarity because they put themselves out there, like you said, they in every aspect of their business model, they put the client first. They pay you more money,
yeah.
they give you the rebates, they insure your money 1 to 1. They're not like a regular bank where you put $1 in and the banks lend out 90 cents of every dollar. They're legit. And it would
Yeah.
be, and it's not that it's not like Ed didn't ask. He actually formally asked Uphold, and they said no. So maybe when things get a little bit more mainstream, and
Well,
there
they
is
said no, not at this time, and that was
right.
last year. So
Yep.
Yeah. So
Well,
yeah, they do have like stuff they've been working on, and so yeah, maybe
yeah.
it's more cleared up. We'll figure
Yeah,
it
well,
out.
since
Yeah.
it appears that when Crypto Casey asks, things get
yeah.
done. Then
We'll
then then
see.
then maybe she'll put her 2 cents. She'll get Michael to wrestle somebody to say yes. That would be really cool.
Yeah,
So
that'd be the trifecta right there.
yeah. So I want to extend my thank you to everybody that's been here, came, supports us, enjoys the content that we create. I also want to give a very personal thank you to Ed Barsano, who's literally changed the trajectory of my finances and that of my family to provide um, a legacy for my children's children. And what better way? I have 3 boys that all will have a fully funded auto trader, and by the time they're 15 or 20, 24, and 25 respectively, they will have a nest egg in which they will be able to prosper, with the idea that if they're millionaires by the time that they're 30, then it opens the door for them to be generous to others. I have a very philanthropic view of helping people with a hand up, not a handout, with real value. And what better way than to help them fund a fully functional trader. So, Mr. Barsano, thank you for all that you do for me, my family, and everybody else out there that gets the opportunity to participate in something that you literally have poured half your life into.
Yeah, don't remind me, man. I mean, it's been that long. It's hard to believe been that long, really.
And you're not quitting anytime soon.
I'm having a ball.
And we are having a ball. And Casey, It has been such a pleasure to get to know you, not only as a professional, but consuming your content. You two have been very, very instrumental in me and my family prospering from this space. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. We over the period of time, we have become not only professional friends, but personal friends. And you are very dear to a lot of people. And I'm assuming that actually you're getting the heart emojis I'm sure everybody feels the same. So please keep providing value. Everybody stay tuned for next week. There's going to be some announcements come out, and it's going to be extraordinarily exciting, but much appreciated.
Yeah,
We'll
thank
see
you
you.
everybody for the pre-birthday wishes. I'll see you
Yep.
on my birthday if you're going to be here. If
All right,
not,
Ed, you're gonna have to learn this pose because that's
I know, I'm
Casey's Be
trying to
Safe
work
out
on
yeah,
there.
it.
yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
There we go. We got it
Can't
on
do it.
tape.
Always looking forward.
Yeah, love to everybody. Thank you, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you
See you,
guys.
Casey.
I'll see you.